Howdy, y'all. This is Tavern Tales with episode 4. We're going to be coming back to the Sacred Shrine. This is Riley, the DM.
And this is Crazier, the player. Hopefully not the only one for much longer, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we still gotta ask and see if we can get some guest stars on, or some continuing extra players. Alright, so before we get into the full game stuff, we have some downtime stuff to talk about. So last episode, Crusail managed to, with Kanna and Kayl, clear out a goblin-infested farm. And the reward for that was the deed for the farm. But it has been thoroughly trashed by goblins. Some parts of it need to be rebuilt entirely, other parts need to be just cleared out of gunk and garbage, other parts need to be reinforced. The field is in disarray. It's going to take some time and some money to fix it up. So I've come up with basically a system for building this house that Crusail is able to kind of work on over time and with his money as he gets it, allowing him to build the house, to kind of fix the house to get a core structure, or the core structure will stay the same, but he can remodel some parts of the house, he can get someone else to come in and build a building. There's lots of stuff that's possible with it. Right now, what do you want to do with it?
They each sort of have their own priority. Tukra, all the Tukra really needs is a hammock, and he actually he already made attempts at doing such a thing, in that he took the tarp from the hooded cart that had been the covered wagon that had been discarded by the side of the entrance. And he took the cloth from that because the wagon's not usable anymore. It's been decimated, but the cloth should be in decent enough shape that he was actually able to take it and try and just under the cover of some trees make himself a little shelter. Because for one, he likes outdoorsing it. That's how he's always lived. Back when he was with the tribe, sure they had their little cave, they had places to sleep, but it wasn't exactly all the comforts of a tavern. Yeah, and he's more comfortable with that. That's just how he's always lived. And especially when he became a druid, it became much more about camping. Yeah, about being out in nature, but also knowing how to use nature as a shelter. And so there are just a few trees next to those guest houses or future guest houses that he would take the cover and tie it with some rope around 2 trees and make himself just a nice little place to sleep.
Yeah, he knows how to make a hammock, and he kind of he's pretty good with it, and he's done this enough that it serves both as like a hammock and as a cover. He can slide it up so it goes up in its actual cover from the elements, a little sort of roof over his head out of the fabric, and then he can slide it down when he wants to sleep on it. Yeah. Flip it over so he's not sleeping on the rain or something if it's raining.
The other thing would be that he would probably, as time went on and he got the materials for it, he would actually start growing his own sort of home in a way.
So he'll
planting trees.
Encouraging plants, planting stuff, making it more natural. Yeah, rather than
using stones
farmed.
As well. He's not going to be dumb enough to just he doesn't want to end up just sleeping in a puddle one night because he has to use his hammock as a canopy to protect himself. So he would start shoring it up. He would make it so that the land actually was more almost like he had made himself a nest. Okay. Where it was a little bit elevated, so if any rainwater was flooding around, it wouldn't just dampen the area underneath his trees. Okay. And he would actually be able to sleep comfortably, because it's one thing to outdoors and it's another thing to just let yourself suffer for the sake of suffering. And he's not going to do that.
All right. So that'll take some time for him to kind of build and make. But he can also, that's not going to cost any extra stuff to do. That's growing things. He can leave instructions with the workers who are going to be working there. Yeah. And they'll take care of it over time. It'll add a little bit of time to their jobs, but not much.
I'm hoping he's developed enough of a rapport with the townsfolk that maybe they would go a little extra in trying to help him out and respecting, maybe even the Lady Green would recognize his desire for a more natural place to sleep.
Oh, he could certainly go ask Lady Green if she would be willing to help out. Would you like to...
I think he would do that.
Do you want to go over what the other guys are going to do?
Yeah.
And then see if he can get Lady Green to come help afterwards?
All right, yeah. Now, see, this is where Kayl and Kanna's two mentalities are different. Because Kayl he's used to more... He wants more comforts out of his home than practicality, whereas Kanna, with her upbringing as the daughter of a very business-savvy woman, she is trying to make sure that the first and foremost, have basic comfort so they can actually sleep there. But rather than make it a home, she wants it to be a business place first.
Yeah.
So she's focused on trying to get the guest houses in order so their clients have a place to stay while they fulfill their requests.
Ah, okay.
Whereas Kayl wants to make the first focus refurbishing the main house. So they're kind of squabbling over where the money should go, all that stuff, and they've come to the compromise that they should at least fix up the bedrooms and the kitchen.
Okay.
They're also going to try and hire out a few people, any farmers who are looking for a place to stay, because they know that it's not maintaining this kind of land is not going to just come from whatever commissions they get from completing tasks, completing jobs for
They need
clients.
someone to actually stay here and work the land a little bit.
It's also, it's beneficial because that means that they also don't have to go to market to get their own food. If they're actually providing food to Foresthome and also are able to just save some of it for themselves, that is a very sufficient way, or a very efficient way to make sure that their homestead is actually churning out exactly what they need.
Okay, so it looks like they're looking for, first and foremost, clearing out the goblin wrecked stuff.
Yeah.
Getting rid of all the goblin... Basically, getting rid of all the goblin-y stuff. And then after that, they want to... let me see if I got this straight. After that, they want to get someone there and working on the fields and things have some kind of like enterprise to take into town consistently.
Yeah. They also need house staff to be able to look after the guests while they're not there.
Well, someone needs to be farming while they're not there, so they need someone working on it.
It's more than that, just that they need a host, somebody who's actually able to help Kanna manage their business revenue.
They're looking for a little bit of an in sort of element to it as well.
An in element in that, and also somebody who's actually skilled in caring for others, somebody who knows how to host. Because they can't just go off on a mission for somebody and leave them alone at the house. Part of it's security, and part of it is respecting their guests, making sure that their guests are cared for while they're trying to take care of business.
All right. So we're looking for...
I'm thinking of a butler almost, a manager.
Yeah, someone to watch the house and keep charge of the workers and the farmers and all that. All right. So starting out, the first thing that's got to happen is they're going to have to pay for a group of workers to clear out the whole area.
Yeah.
Get rid of all the stuff. That's 250 gold is going to be the total cost for clearing things out. And it's going to take... The group of workers will take 15 days as long as they have someone there managing them.
Okay. Well, one thing they would do...
Yeah?
There was a lot of mundane stuff that they got from the Sacred Shrine that they'd probably sell off back at home. Well, except for a few items.
And remember, that was only Kanna, so she couldn't grab all of it.
True, they'll have to go back for some of it. Yeah, because she just grabbed the arrows.
Yeah, she grabbed the arrows, and I think there were a couple other things she grabbed. The silverware. Yeah,
she would use the silverware to sell, to pay for the workers.
I think you wrote down her money on there for the silverware already.
Actually, I only have her with 125, and there's no erasure marks.
Well, yeah, you don't start with any money.
Oh, you do. In 5th edition, they actually have an amount of money that you receive.
Well, you get like 10 gold with a background, or you can roll for money to buy your equipment. You either get starting equipment and then some amount of money with your background, or you roll for an amount of money and you can spend that on whatever equipment you want instead of your starting equipment.
No, I got the starting equipment, and then the class gives you a certain amount of money.
No, it's one or the other.
Okay. Well, I mean, I did go with... Yeah, so rogues... Where was it? Equipment. Starting equipment. Yeah, starting wealth by class. In Chapter 5.
In Chapter 5. No. What page is that?
143.
You receive equipment based on your class. Alternatively, you can start with a number of gold pieces based on your class and spend them on items. So you either get the starting equipment that's written on the class page, or you get this much money to buy equipment with.
Wait, where are you reading that?
The second sentence. Under starting equipment.
Mm-hmm.
So when you create a character, you receive equipment based on a combination of your class and background.
Oh.
Alternatively, you can start with a number of gold pieces based on your class and spend them on items.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically either you can take what they're calling the quote-unquote optimized equipment that they give you with the regular class, or you can roll and then you're allowed to buy whatever you want with it.
Got it.
Which means you might get lucky and be able to buy the starting equipment plus some extra stuff, or you might get unlucky and you don't get much.
Can I grab my pen back?
Yes.
Thank you.
You are.
I need to make that correction then. And that's what I get for not reading all the way through. So Kayl's currently at 0 GP.
No, Kayl should have 65, if I remember.
Oh yeah, because he started off with 100. I did change that. Yeah, he has 65 GP. Kanna has 200.
So she probably has...
They would have... Yeah, they'd have 15 left over. Plus Tukra... Well, Tukra wouldn't really have money.
No, Tukra kind of like... He barters for things most of the time anyway.
Yeah. That honeycomb will be a nice thing. And among the mundane stuff, there is honeycomb that he could carry back.
Yeah. For the silverware, did I write down how much that was worth on there?
200 GP worth.
Oh, 200 GP of silverware? Okay. So yeah, she's got 200. Tukra has 65. Alright.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's perfect. That's just enough to get started on the clearing out of stuff. So, I sent this to you in the email, but to explain to the viewers, the way the repairs, I almost said reparations again.
Well, no, that was my fault.
Yeah. The way the repairs will work is basically it costs a certain amount of money for supplies, labor, time, whatever, and the workers they want to have someone directing them. They want someone to be there. If someone is going to be there as like a foreman or a boss, they're willing to work full-time, come every day, work their 8 hours, then head back and go either home to their own farms or often back to the farms that they come from, back to the town. But if no one's going to be there, if it's just them carrying out your written instructions or your vocal instructions, then they can't come all the time. They're more interested in doing their own work. They'll come on like weekends and stuff.
Well, that's why Kanna wants to find a manager for the entire estate.
Well, do you want a manager? You want a manager for the estate who will also be the foreman for the construction? Okay. It sounded like you wanted to have kind of multiple people living and working at your place. Do you want
to start it off? She would get the manager first, because the manager can also start looking for people to hire to work the land. Well,
they would also. They could also be foremen, or they could also be kind of experts. If you're looking later on, if Crusail is trying to make some kind of specialized room, like a medical bay or something, he would need the foreman to be someone who's experienced with that sort of thing. Mm. So if you had multiple people, they could take turns being the foreman to allow you to do different things with it. But you're looking for just one person to start.
One person who is experienced in managing this kind of property.
Okay.
So my initial idea would have been to go with Hagram, the barkeep, because he's also he's a trusted friend now for everybody in the party.
Yeah.
But he's good. He's able to manage his own business,
He is unfortunately managing his own business.
And I don't know how well he does with farming. So they'd probably be looking for they'd be looking for anybody who, maybe even people who lost their position after this farm was initially taken over by the goblins.
Okay.
Maybe even some young children or some older children of farms who are looking for their first job or looking for their start.
Well,
people in town.
Unfortunately, usually these tend to be family farms, so the kids tend to work on their own family farms.
Also, Kanna would probably put out a bulletin for any travelers who were coming through and looking to settle down.
That's an interesting one. Okay, well, we can come back to that. Come back to her bulletin sometime later. Mm-hmm. So basically, you've got a few options. Kayl is able to think of going and asking Old Gene, either asking Old Gene himself or asking Old Gene for if there are any people on his farm that would be willing to come help out.
He wouldn't ask Old Gene. He wouldn't ask Old Gene to do it himself. He'd ask if he had anybody who would be able to do it.
Because if you remember also, one of Old Gene's grandsons is married to the woman who actually came from this farm. Right. So they may want to help out. They might be a little easier to convince to come help. Yeah. Hadrim also has family. He has a brother who lives nearby, and his brother is actually the one in charge of brewing all the ale and stuff for the inn, and he has a lot of free time. All right. Because brewing is it's a long term, but not super fast and time intensive job. So he would have plenty of time to come watch the house, work on the house. He would even be willing to start up a small brewing operation at the house for you. All right.
I have to make sure that Hadrim knows it's not that we're trying to make competition for him. It's just that we're trying to make sure our guests are comfy.
Hadrim knows that any beer his brother brews, A, will be good, and B, his brother will probably happily give to him as well. Right. Let's see, who else is there? Tukra thinks of Lady Green. Lady Green would possibly be able to help out. He doesn't think she would be able to be a consistent manager, because the town actually thinks she is dead, but she could figure something out. Maybe Jovan would be able to help out, or one of the other members of the Green family.
Yeah, probably not Jovan though, because he sort of has to be her physical presence on the farm along with his own.
Let's see, are there any other?
I think that Kanna would probably would try and work with Hadrim, because Hadrim's shown himself to be the most pleasant and business savvy person in Foresthome. Okay. And Kayl would go with Old Gene, because Old Gene he knows that Old Gene is, for one, has lived long enough to have seen everybody in the town. Has his wits about well enough at the age of 80 that he's sharp enough to know exactly how things work around here. He feels that experience is the way to go on this. Okay. Tukra would go with his experience with the Greens.
So, do you want to have each of them go out, or do you want them to come together and decide on a single person to talk to?
Tukra he's actually on other business right now, because after Kanna discovered the blood trail leading out the window in their room, she asked for Tukra to try and track down this guy, because he's probably got the most forest experience, or at least keep track of where he was going.
Tukra is out.
Tukra's scouting,
seeing if he can track where this guy is going.
And he doesn't care that much he cares in that he wants to have a home with his friends, with his family.
But
he knows that Kanna and Kayl can handle this. Okay. In fact, they probably are better for it, because they have the more experience in dealing with humans than him.
Is he going to leave any kind of, well, I'm out, like Kayl listen to Kanna, or Kanna listen to Kayl?
Well, no.
Any sort of
they all agreed. They all agreed after they found the blood trail leading out that he volunteered, and they all agreed that he would be the best to at least scout and see exactly where this head was going with the sword.
I'm saying he's out, is he gonna, before he leaves, is he gonna leave any kind of like, I think you should go talk to old Gene, or I think you should go talk to Hadron? Like, is he going to put any input in this, or is it just Kanna and Kayl?
It's just Kanna and Kayl, because once again, Tukra his best dealings were with a bunch of cows and with a dryad fae goddess.
Okay.
So dealing with people is not really where he has focused himself while they've been in Foresthome.
So who are you going to go talk to?
I think that it will actually be a divide and conquer here, and that.
Okay, so they'll go their separate ways, and
Kayl and Kanna have agreed. Kanna will deal with actually finding managerial individuals, people who can actually help manage the property and estate and deal with the internal workings, whereas Kayl, who has developed much more of a rapport with the farmers,
Kanna already has the contract all written up for the farmers. She's already got them taken care of. It's just finding the manager now.
Right. So, okay. Then, yeah, they would just go their own separate ways and try and figure that out.
Okay. So, who do you want to talk to first? Do you want to go to Old Gene's farm first, or do you want to go talk to Hadron's brother first?
Let's go with Old Gene first. It's been a while since we got to see Old Gene.
Alright. What voice did I use for Old Gene?
Sort of a daughtery old voice, but still quick. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, Kayl! How are you doing, my boy?
Good to see you, Gene. I'm doing better. We had a few bumps and scrapes a little while back with our newest acquisition.
Well, I'm glad you're doing all right.
How's your daughter-in-law? I'm sorry to interrupt.
My daughter-in-law?
Yes, the one who gave us the land.
No, that's my granddaughter.
Sorry. Right, it's her husband is your grandson-in-law.
Yeah.
That's my mistake.
She is very happy. She's still sad that you didn't find any of her family, but
I am sorry about that.
We all knew. It's been a long time.
Where are they? She and her husband, are they helping you manage this property now?
Right now, my son he's the head, and my grandson-in-law he's actually learning. He's trying to learn to start up his own farm. He's looking at a nice piece of land off by the field, or off by the town field, but he's not quite ready yet.
What if there was a property that was already ready to go?
Do you mean your property?
Yes, sir. Considering your granddaughter actually originally owned the property, she's much more familiar than Kanna or myself, and we're actually hoping to find somebody to manage things for us, because our occupation takes us away from home a lot, and especially if we have guests who we want to keep comfortable while we take care of their business. We were hoping to have somebody who knew the workings of a farm and would also know how to host the guests. We're hoping. Long story short, we're hoping to hire some internal staff who can help with our business, while the farm is also being run. So, if your granddaughter and your son-in-law could act as the managers of both sides, and it would be a great learning experience for both of them as well, I think. We're all new to this, Gene. I'm not going to pretend that Kanna and I know exactly how to do this ourselves. So, we're expecting bumps along the way. Maybe Kanna would say otherwise. Don't tell her I said any of this. But I think that it'd be a nice enterprise for all of us young whippersnappers to get into together.
All right, and you can see in Old Gene's eye there's kind of like a businessman glimmer. He sees an opportunity here. Oh, well, you wait right here, young Kayl. I'll be right back. He's gonna dot her into the house a little bit, and it's a good few minutes. He takes his time walking about, but you know this. He comes back out, bringing his grandson-in-law and a cup of sweet tea. He hands you the sweet tea. Here, Kayl. Quench your thirst. It's a hot day.
Kayl's not one to stand on ceremony in that he will try and sip it. He is just gulping that straight down because that's just how they always did it.
He just sends it straight back.
Yeah. More like just he's not going to just take sips. He's just going to down the draft.
Okay.
Just yeah.
Yeah. So, Old Gene waits for you to finish your drink, and then after you set it down, he points to his grandson and says, "This here is my grandson, Jonathan. Jonathan, this here is the nice fellow Kayl I told you about the other day. He has ever so kindly taken back the farm from your lovely wife, Evelyn, and he is looking for a farm manager, and he proposed to me ever so cleverly, I might add, my friend Kayl, that they would love to have someone to host or perhaps hostess for their guests. And I know my granddaughter Evelyn is a wonderful lady. I think you would agree." Ribs him a little bit with his elbow.
Kayl's just smiling because also he watched dance for so many years, just playing to people's heartstrings, just knowing how to. So he knows that Old Gene doesn't mean to be conning him or anything, but he knows he's playing up this business opportunity.
Oh, absolutely.
He's a sweet talker.
He's making it sound like such a great, wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, he knows a sweet talker when he sees one, and Old Gene would give Dance a run for his money.
Yeah, Kayl notices while he's talking to Jonathan a little bit. Old Gene doesn't sound quite as old as he does when he's talking to Kayl.
Yeah.
Kayl's like, this guy's been playing me a little bit. I thought he was a doddering old man. He's still got it.
Yeah.
But, so, Old Gene continues to talk it up, and you can see Jonathan starting to get... He's got a little bit of a smile on his face. He likes this idea, and Jonathan says, well, you know, Grandpa Gene, I have been meaning to tell you about this, but me and Evelyn have been thinking it's time for us to go start our own farm, or at least try and set up a house on our own. We've got some... I mean, this is wonderful news. I would be happy to help out. I think this would be a fantastic chance to start my own farm. And honestly, I'd be willing to start out helping you fix up the place before we even get farming, because I know there's got to be a lot to do there.
If it won't be anything traumatic for you or your wife, I know that you live there.
Evelyn would be staying here because, well, also Grandpa Gene, we have a little bit of good news on just between me and her too. We are actually about to have our first child.
Sarah, and I'm guessing at this point, Kayl would actually feel this big buzz in the back of his neck because Seraphina's overjoyed to hear.
Seraphina's doing like a dance in heaven, like, oh yeah, it's a baby.
Yeah.
And Old Gene is so happy. You can already tell he knew already.
Yeah.
But he puts on such a big smile and happy face. He calls down to one of his daughters and tells her to put on a feast.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a great grandchild. And Old Gene invites Kayl to come along and have dinner with them as a new business partner, and in such a happy event, you gotta invite friends. Is Kayl gonna have dinner?
Kayl would love to have dinner, but he's getting a little bit of the business whirring in his head, and he's thinking, okay, he's actually got a good lead here, but let's see if we can get this into a full enterprise, a full town-wide enterprise now. And he's going to say, because he knows who Kanna went to speak with.
Yeah.
And every good party needs a good batch of beer. So
he's gonna go He's going to go check out to see if he can bring some along.
He's going to go and see how Kanna's doing, and he's hoping this would be a chance to bring in all the partners the prospective partners and have them all start collaborating.
Okay.
At the party.
So do you want to do you want to ask Jonathan to come along with you?
No, the idea would be actually that he will graciously accept the invitation, and he'll say that actually if they didn't mind, he would run back to try and bring Kanna.
Okay.
As Kanna is his business partner in this, and they would hopefully provide refreshments for the party as well.
Okay. Old Gene is very happy. He's got a little bit of a calculating look hiding behind his smiling face. He wonders what you're doing, but he thinks good enough of Kayl that he believes this is you actually getting your business partner. You're gonna do something nice or kind. Maybe you're going to get like a present for Jonathan and his wife Evelyn.
Yeah.
Let's see. Before you leave, are you going to discuss terms of cost or anything with Jonathan? Or are you going to pull him aside and talk about payment or kind of income and splits? Or are you going to do that? Do you want to do that later once Kanna is here as kind of a business professional?
Yeah, since Kanna's usually the coin handler in their band.
Yeah, she learned a lot from her mom.
Yeah, he would wait and actually he would say, if Jonathan brought it up, he'd say, let's put that on hold. This is a celebration. Let's not talk money until we have a chance to really sit down as a group, as business partners.
Yeah. Like we'll leave talks of money until after we've toasted you and your wife.
Exactly.
Okay. So, should we go and do Hadram's brother and Kanna, or do you want to go straight to Kayl coming in to talk to both of them?
I think if we want to do a little flashback to Kanna going to speak with Hadram's brother.
Okay. So Kanna goes into the dancing stag and asks Hadram where his brother is. Hadram sends her not quite right across the street, but across the street a little bit down. It's a nice, quaint little house. There is a moderately pungent smell of kind of
hops and malt and all that stuff.
Hops and malt and yeast and all that in through air. Not unpleasant, but it smells strongly. You can tell it's a brewer's house.
Right.
There's a little boy playing out in the yard with a middle-aged woman, similarly aged to Hadram. And she waves hi, points you out back.
All right.
And when you walk around, you see a man who could be Hadram's twin. He looks exactly the same as him.
All right.
Only difference is Hadram has brown hair. He has bright blonde hair. But he's standing over a big open vat, huge burly muscles, kind of mixing up a big brownish liquid in there. Pulls out his big oar, puts the top back on, and pounds it down to seal it up tightly. Turns around and says, "Hi, how you doing?"
Yes, hi. So I was told you're Hadram's brother?
Aye, that's me.
My name's Kanna. I've been hoping to speak with you about a possible business opportunity.
Business opportunity?
Yes, sir.
Did Hadram send you my way?
Yes.
Ah, that's a good brother of mine. The name's Cornish.
Really?
Aye? Such a strange name.
No. I just Hadram. It doesn't sound like it's of the same naming scheme as Hadram.
Well, my mother named me, and your father named Hadram.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Well, Cornish. I don't know how much word is spread around Foresthome about my party. My associates Tukra and Kayl and I, we recently came into some land.
Oh, you're friends with Kayl.
Yes.
I've heard his stories. I've heard his stories many times. Very, very good talker.
Kanna's thinking, he's only been here 3 days. How many stories has he told? How many times has he told the same stories?
People ask a lot.
Huh.
Cornish asks a lot.
All right. Kanna's just gonna shrug mentally, and she'll say, "Oh, great. Well, I don't know if you've heard about our most recent adventure from him, but we just were able to reclaim some farmland from a pack of goblins."
Ah, you reclaimed the old farm. That's great.
Yeah.
What about it?
Well, we've already got contracts down for some farmers to come in and start living there and setting up shop.
Good.
But Kayl, Tukra, and I aren't exactly farmers ourselves. We're adventurers. We sell our services to people who need things taken care of.
Clearly.
And also, we like to have a base of operations from which we can go on our own adventures. So we're hoping to find an internal staff for our new home that would be able to manage and host for our guests while we are either away on business for them or are away on our own business. And we were hoping that we could maybe speak with you about helping to provide manpower or to provide I'm trying to think of the right word. Comforts, to provide comforts for our guests, such as your beer, your different liquors or lagers, or foods. I don't know exactly which things you specialize in besides lagers, but
all right. Cornish has a quizzical look on his face. He scratches his head. Lass, stop with all the fancy talk. I brew beer. Do you want me to come brew beer? I got lots of time. I can set y'all up with a brewery.
That'd be wonderful. Yes, that's actually, well, if that is what you're able to provide, that would be a great addition.
Now, as you know, I brew all the beer for me brother Halloran. He's me brother. I do it out of the goodness of my heart. What can you give me?
Well, obviously coin, if that's what you're looking for. Coin we can provide. That's part of our job, is to actually have a constant stream of revenue coming in and out. We can also provide protection for any parties that you would hope to have protected. We're hoping to expand on our adventuring group. We're hoping that we can have different people coming in and out, taking on different tasks, and also have a home guard, people who can help keep Foresthome safe. This is our home too. We want people to feel safe. And the only problem is, and this I'm going to just tell you, because when you go out and you solve problems for people, those problems tend to try and solve the problem that you solved. She's trying to make this simple, but she's confusing herself while she's saying it too.
She's talking around it too much, and it's getting complicated.
Sometimes the things that we try and take care of come back and try and return the favor. And Kayl, Tukra, and I all agreed when we came to Foresthome that we wanted to make sure that the people here would have no reason to want to kick us out. That would include, say, a band of goblins. We routed them, but if one had gotten away and went to tell its brothers about us, who knows what they would come after the farm first, but who knows if they would stop there, if they were strong enough to take us down.
You trying to turn this into a threat?
I'm saying no. I'm trying to present to you why we want to expand. I'm talking business with you here because I want to actually. All I'm trying to say is that we can also provide protection. We can provide coin. We can provide materials.
Materials. What kind of materials?
Well, we were hoping to have the farm up and running soon, and if part of that was to have, say, a field dedicated to barley, or to say certain herbs, spices. We'll have to see what the soil is like here, but maybe we could help to expand your expand your wares.
I've always wanted to try me hand at wine. Some grapes might be a great field.
A vineyard I personally enjoy wine myself, so a vineyard would definitely be beneficial. And I'm guessing, well, down in the more temperate climes of L'Oreal, I'm guessing wine's a big thing.
Yeah, wine is... Lyon is actually big on wine. The region you're in right now is big on beer. Nvidia is big on beer, and L'Oreal think beer is for savages and never touch it.
Got it. Which would explain why Kanna doesn't drink here.
That's why Kanna's into wine.
Yeah. But yes, for me that would also be nice. A little touch of home.
All right. Well, lassie.
Sorry that came out. I was trying to. The idea was to be explained to him that because they don't really talk about that.
What services they're going to render and why he would want to help them. Like what reason outside of just will pay you. Yeah.
Also, adventurers, they don't usually want to say it, but they know. Hopefully, adventurers would know that eventually they can cause trouble for those that that are willing to let them in.
Can be a danger.
Yeah. So she was just trying to explain that them being around is a beneficial thing. Yeah. Came out wrong though. Hopefully he doesn't hold that against her.
Alrighty. Well, lassie, I think we can make a deal. I think if I have a chance to try me hand at wine and sufficient monetary recompense.
Now who's using fancy words, Cornish? She actually says that to him.
Yeah. How does he say this? Basically, he's going to outline his contract. For him to come work for you, he's asking for one of the fields to be a vineyard. And you can add more fields later on as it expands. Currently, there's only the 2 fields set up to be farmed. And vineyards you can definitely get vineyards. You'll have to find out where you can find some grape trees or grape seeds.
Yeah.
But that's something Tukra would be able to help you with, the Lady Green would be able to help you with. It's definitely doable.
Traveling merchants would also probably carry word of people.
And he's willing to work for a while as long as the promise of vineyards is completed at some point. He's willing to start. Like, you don't have to have it started before he gets there. But he'll require... I got to think about it a little bit, how much money he'll cost, but he'll have a weekly cost. He needs you to have the vineyards at some point, and he wants someone to teach his son how to fight because he's concerned about his son. Since he's mentioned danger and the possibility that something might be coming into town, and he wants someone to train his son up a little bit.
Also, I mean, he's seen goblins coming in, strange creatures coming out of the forest, the Twisted Tower. Things are getting weird around Foresthome, it seems.
A little.
If word got out about the severed head suddenly coming to life and rolling out, that would probably...
people had noticed that would have been a big freak out.
Yeah, but Kanna, when she hears about that, she smiles because even though Kayl won't admit it, he's pretty good with kids. So, and she knows that he'd be willing to train this kid.
What else was I about to write? Oh yeah, could I steal that? Pencil back. Pencil, This is all out of lead.
Yeah. Here. I think I have an extra pencil too.
Grandkid. So I need to think about the numbers a little bit. I'll get back to you on what the numbers are for their costs. But pretty much Cornish's contract is going to be somebody trains my son. That can be a pretty leisurely thing. That'll be kind of when you're here, do some sparring sessions, training, give him like a regimen to do. And Kanna knows that it's not supposed to be super serious. Yeah. His son is young. His son is like an 8-year-old.
When he gets to be in his teens, maybe up the
that might be when you start doing like a real hand-to-hand combat. Until then, it's going to be like
basics, training up his muscles and all that stuff, teaching some basic fighting.
Well, I mean, he's 8. You're not supposed to do muscle training when you're 8. But it'll be like stretching and yoga and poses and learning how to hold and use a weapon, stances and katas, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Not
like intensive muscle building.
Well, yeah, true. You don't want to. That's bad for his growth.
Yeah, and then he is the. He's basically he will provide ales and stuff for guests, but he reserves the right also to sell ales out of the brewery. Mm. So, like, if people come, it's coming out. It'll be like a 50-50 split or a 75-25 split, him to you. Like 75 him, 25 you for ale that comes out of the brewery.
All right.
Basically, he's pushing a hard bargain on him being the owner of the brewery part and getting most benefit out of it. But he also will be in charge of kind of helping out with guests and sort of keeping troublesome people out, protection on the area. He's a big burly guy. He can help out with that. So
Kanna's, if in another situation, Kanna might push for less of a margin, maybe go for 60-40, still giving him the benefit, but she also knows she doesn't want to make their standing negative, so she's willing to go with that for now.
Yeah. So around about the end of this conversation, you guys are not squabbling, but going over the finer details of the contract is when Kayl shows up.
Right.
And
does the little boy react at all to that? I'm just...
he is...
Like, does he come into the backyard yelling that Kayl's here?
Well, actually, how does Kayl come down the road?
Just normally.
He's just walking normal. He's not doing anything dramatic.
But the thing is, he's out in full armor. He's wearing his normal adventuring gear. So I'm guessing. So he probably stands out if he's in chainmail and half plate.
The boy doesn't do anything. He doesn't go running back or anything. But Kayl does see the boy's playing with a ball, and he sees Kayl, and his jaw just drops like whoa. Ball drops down on the ground. That guy's cool. Mommy, did you see that guy? He's so big. And then Kayl gets in the back and sees Kanna and Cornish going over the contract. Cornish has it like he's kind of writing it down on the ground a little bit. Or not on the ground, on a what do they call them? On a clay tablet.
Okay.
Like, he can't afford... He's not rich enough to have parchment and paper constantly to use, but he's got a little writing system going on.
Or just on a piece of bark also used to work, I think.
Yeah. This is something that looks like he uses it and keeps it moist, keeps it around so that he can have records of things as long as he needs, probably recipes and changes, and then once he's done with it, he can wipe it down or reuse it. So this looks like he might go fire it later so it stays written, but that's just how he's doing the contract. What does Kayl want to do once he gets there?
He'll come up and he'll just wrap his arm around Kanna's shoulder, give her sort of a half hug, and then he'll say he'll put out his hand to Cornish, though he'll introduce himself first. I'll say, Kayl Skura. But haven't I seen you at the Dancing Stag?
Ah, yes. That's me brother Hadrim's place.
Ah.
I love your... that was not the right accent. Yeah. I love your... It's gone. It's disappeared.
Yeah.
Ach. I love your stories. They're so characterized.
Well, if you provide the lagers at his place, then I love your beers.
All right.
They have character too.
To hear that. I built plenty of character.
He's really just trying to be a real pleasant guy to him.
Oh yeah, and it goes over very smoothly. He's already a big Kayl fan. He sits around. He has a lot of beers and listens to a lot of stories in the Dancing Stag.
May I ask your name then? I'm sorry, I didn't get it.
I'm Cornish.
Right. Very nice to meet you, Cornish. I guess you've already spoken with my dear Kanna.
Hi.
Kind of gives him the side glance. Really? We're trying to be professional here.
So are you business partners or together?
That and together. We are members of the same adventuring party, so business and life intermingle.
I mean, me wife helps with the ales sometimes. It's all okay.
Yeah, and Kayl, he feels a little sharp prodding in his side because
I'm guessing Kanna's like, cut it out.
Yeah,
we're done. We gotta go.
And Kayl actually he catches her. He puts his own elbow out to stop her from ribbing him anymore, and he says, "I'm actually here because I'm guessing Kanna spoke with you about what we're planning for our new farm."
Aye, she did.
Well, when I was actually just over at Old Gene's place, I'm guessing most everybody here knows Old Gene, right?
Yeah, he's old. Old Gene is Old Gene.
Well, his grandson and granddaughter just graciously accepted our offer to help manage the farm.
Oh.
And he's also looking a little bit at Kanna while he says that. But they also just presented us with a piece of news that they are about to have their first child.
Oh, a child. That's wonderful news.
And I said that...
I'm annoyed I lost that accent so quickly.
It's tricky.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that I could impose upon you, with the proper compensation, to provide some beverages for the feast that Gene's planning.
Cornish replies, "Of course, why not? I would gladly bring some drinks over. In fact, I'm gonna go round up my brother and my wife and bring a whole bunch of folks down to celebrate with the Genes."
Great. Well, how much will we owe you for the beer?
It's for a child. This is a celebration. We always have a party when there's a new child.
All right.
Remember, I call it a town, but it's a small settlement. Like there's people in the hundreds, not in the thousands.
Right.
So like a
village almost. More of a village?
Even smaller than a village.
Oh, wow.
Like I think I was estimating around how many people I wanted there to be, and I was settling somewhere in between like around 200-ish. And that's including all the farms that are actually off of the settlement directly. It's really just a place that's sprung up around a trading outpost.
Okay.
But yeah, every time someone's gonna have a baby, they have a big party.
Awesome.
Like the whole old Gene is holding his own kind of private small party first, but
he knows people are coming.
Within the week, they're going to go out to the town field, and there's going to be a big hullabaloo. Everyone's going to get blasted.
Right.
Have a ton of fun.
All right. Except for maybe
9 months later, there's probably going to be a couple more parties.
Right. Hopefully not the wife, though. Hopefully not the wife will get blasted.
No. They know. They have healing magic that tells them that's a bad idea.
Right. All right. So, Kayl's liking Foresthome more and more, and Kanna is still just kind of business-minded.
Yeah. I mean, she's got her copy of the contract. She wants to see Kayl's contract that he made with Jonathan.
Contract? No, that's what he's going to say to her.
No, yeah.
I was kind of saving that for when you were there. Kayl,
okay.
And
she gets it. She's like,
yeah,
fine.
Yeah. So should we, I'm guessing at that point, we can just say, they go to the party and they start talking, they actually settle all the details with Jonathan and Cornish.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, Cornish is all already set up. He's got the only thing I still need to think of with him is his actual weekly cost.
Right.
Jonathan and Evelyn, they're a package deal. Evelyn probably won't be working for a while as she's having the child, she's like getting progressively closer to having the child. Well, she'll be working for a while and then she will stop at some point to have the child and then raise it a little bit. But Jonathan's up to work for a long time.
The house is, and also one thing that I know Kayl would want to offer is that because the house is big enough, he and Kanna could take their own bedroom, and they could offer the other bedroom to Jonathan and what's the wife's name? Evelyn. Give them a place to stay there. Make it their home as well, because it was Evelyn's home to begin with.
True. That would take actually. Once it's all cleared out, you could definitely do that. You could even offer a room to Cornish if you like.
Well,
because
that was supposed to be us building up his own little brewery. The brewery would also have living quarters.
Oh, let me turn this over. Because this is the new layout for it.
Right.
I'd made it a little bit too big before, so it's just a little bit kind of thinner now. It's in the end the house the main house manor house was 30 feet deep by 85 feet long, so it's a pretty large house.
Mm-hmm.
It's got 3 15 by 10 foot bedrooms,
and they all lead into the main annex.
Well, there's the entrance is somewhere in here. I think the front door was going to be right here, and this is the kind of atrium main room area.
Right.
This is where I imagine you would do your business stuff.
Right.
But you could also put up walls and make it into multiple rooms if you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got what was the dining room, what was the kitchen, what was the pantry. And I've actually split the pantry into a smaller area, and there's now a storage room in the back.
Okay.
Well, rather, what was a storage room, but could be anything. You could turn it into whatever you want. So it will cost extra money once you have done repairs, or rather, while you're doing repairs, to change out any of these rooms into something different. But you can do that. Right now, everything will remain the same kind of room it is, but that means you do have 3 available bedrooms. And then for the small kind of extra guest houses, they are currently just a generic large entry room and then 2 smaller 15 by 10 foot rooms. Mm-hmm. They are completely customizable.
Oh.
They have a starting set of they have like a basic set of things. I think I sent a bunch of stuff that comes with them and an example of what the setup would be like, but
right.
They are, because they got burned down and wrecked so much, you're going to have to redo it all from scratch anyway.
Right.
So if you want to do something different with them, you can.
All right. Well, I like the setup because also that just means that each of these bedrooms leads into the atrium. That means that it would work to give Jonathan and darn it, Evelyn. Okay, mm-hmm. I got it. Jonathan and Evelyn and Jonathan, give them their own place.
Yeah.
It feels right to Kayl and Kanna. You know, she's had a similar situation happen to her that happened to Evelyn. So she would not be adverse to Kayl's offer.
Okay. Yeah, and they're very gracious, hearing that you have a room for them already. Yeah. Basically, you have a place for them to live along with you, or like in the house with you.
Yeah. And also, just on the map here, let's just say that Tukra's place would be either in the back behind the house, in the trees.
Like in this area.
Yeah.
With trees and stuff back here.
Probably more towards the kitchen because he wouldn't want to look over and see through somebody's window. True. That would be a little awkward for him.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So like over here, or maybe he like sets it up between the 2 houses or something.
Well, he'd probably go for back here and he would call it Tukra's Grove or Tukra's Grotto.
Okay. So yeah, so he'll make that, and I'll come up with some benefit for that later. So that's that.
Also, he has the move earth cantrip now, so he could actually make himself his own little earthen hut.
Mm-hmm. It'll take a little bit of time, but he definitely can work on that. There for now.
All right, but I'm liking this plan. So on to revelry, and possibly over to a very grumpy Goliath who's been in the cold woods trying to follow a blood trail.
Yep. So, would you like to roleplay out the party, or would you like to move over Tukra, see what he's found, or do you want to kind of advance to when everyone's back together?
I think I was joking. I wasn't joking about Tukra's thing, but maybe it would be better to just have it be that he comes back and reports, because you kind of want to roleplay the party.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So everyone So Kayl and Kanna they're walking up, however you would like, towards Old Jean's. Kayl obviously tells Kanna all the details about Jonathan and all them. Kanna fills in Kayl on what's going on with Cornish. Cornish is lugging a huge friggin' barrel of ale with him, just carrying it effortlessly.
All right.
And when he just walks, they get to Old Jean's farm, and you can hear a bustle, and people are already hooting and hollering. Someone's playing music, and instead of going up to knock on the door, Cornish just walks up, kicks the door in, and walks in. I've brought the ale!
And everybody just starts cheering. And I'm guessing everybody knows Cornish.
Oh yeah, everyone knows Cornish's ales. And this is actually a special ale. This is the baby ale.
All right.
Which it sounds like it's going to be a little one, but it just means you should take baby sips, because it'll hit you hard.
Ooh.
But it's good stuff. Everyone's having fun. There's a good atmosphere going on.
If Kayl isn't warned about that, he would just chug it down.
Oh yeah, no one warns anyone.
Okay. And Kanna obviously will abstain because once again,
she's Lorellian. Yeah, she doesn't like beer.
Yeah.
She'll politely decline it, I guess. So
somebody's got to walk Kayl home. Is her explanation?
True. Kayl's got to get home somehow or another.
Yeah.
So everyone's having a fun time. Do you have anyone you want to talk to, or do you want to just talk to random people?
I think that it would just be random thing because we've already played out the business aspect of it, talking to Jonathan and Evelyn and Cornish. I think we're okay on that. So they would just kind of want to get to know other people in the town. And also Kayl, if he pounded back one and it hit him hard enough, I'm guessing he would go for another and then would just start into his storytelling mode. Maybe actually start trying to tussle with somebody like his good old days with his old band.
He'll get up get an arm wrestling competition going or something. Everyone's exciting and cheering for it now.
Yeah.
Kayl's center stage immediately because that's what he does.
Okay, so yeah, but the one thing is that Kanna actually has to stop at one point because he gets too into it and it starts to actually make his facial
starts flowing and doing his cool stuff.
Yeah, his Enochian markings actually start to expand because he's straining too hard and it's actually starting to break his focus.
So as Kanna is trying to get him to relax and come down, Jonathan comes up and asks for an arm wrestle, and everyone starts cheering. Do it, do it!
All right,
wrestle, wrestle! He puts it up. He's a regular looking farm guy. Kayl could crush him in an instant.
All right.
What does Kayl slightly drunkenly do?
He gives him the arm wrestle, but he's going to be a sportsman about it as well as he can. We can do a roll for that if you want to see how slovenly he is about actually trying to maintain some composure.
Okay. So composure check. Give me a Constitution roll. Constitution saving roll.
Okay. I get a +4 on that. Nice. Mm-hmm. That's a 23.
All right. You are able to Kayl kind of pulls himself up, takes a deep breath, looks like he's just getting in position, how well he hides it, and he's stone cold sober for that arm wrestle, so he can control exactly how strong he wants to do it.
Yeah. Well, he wants to put on a show, so let's put in his flashy combat that he wants to make it look like Jonathan's putting up a fight, but really he's putting on a straining show.
It is the father of the child. He's the man of the hour.
And the new business partner. Which is probably, I was going to say that's one of the reasons why he sobered up a little bit, would be because Kanna leaned over and said, remember, we are now doing business with him.
All right, so it's kind of like a back and forth game. Jonathan pushes Kayl down a little bit. Kayl brings it back to center and gets a little bit on John. Then Jonathan gets it back over a little bit. Kayl's almost touching. And finally, in a big burst of, with a big roar, he just brings it down and barely touches him down.
Yeah.
Kayl doesn't even break a sweat. Jonathan's breathing hard and red in the face, and everyone cheers and screams.
Right.
Having a good time. Jonathan pours out Kayl another beer, and they cheers each other. Everyone's having a good time. what's Kanna doing while she looks on and sees all this?
Kanna is actually going to go and engage with Evelyn.
Okay, she's going to go find the mother.
Yeah, one to congratulate, and two because she wants to actually meet both business partners.
Good call.
Very much her practical self. She would get into the festivities more if she did have some wine, but also she's and is there music?
Yes, there is music.
Then once Kayl's had his fun, rough rousing and all that stuff, she actually is going to try and get him to dance.
Okay.
Because he doesn't mind dancing, but she does kind of need to go to him, and that was one thing she loved back down in Laurel. Mm-hmm. She loved dancing.
Oh yeah, dancing is a big part of the culture,
and it was also part of her training. Also, she fights elegantly. Mm-hmm. It's all a dance to her.
Okay.
But it's one thing that really reminds her of home is being able to dance with her sweetheart.
Yeah.
So
she's talking with Evelyn a little bit. There's a big table in the center of the room with like roast turkeys and big steaks, or not steaks, roast beefs and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Somebody starts calling for a dance, and the music starts playing louder, and they play some song. About half the crowd starts singing along terribly with it. Clearly, it's like the local favorite.
All right.
And Cornish and a couple other fellows just pick up the table from the middle of the room and shove it off to the side. Some of the food spills, but no one cares. People rush into the middle and start dancing. It's some kind of strange combination of like a ballroom dancing thing and line dancing.
So like something from A Knight's Tale.
Remind me of the scene you're thinking of.
Heath Ledger, he's being called out by the other knight, and he's supposed to be putting on this dance from Gelderland. So he makes up a dance right on the spot, and it becomes sort of this new agey Renaissance dance.
A little bit more like, you know how there's the ballroom dance where everyone stands in their spots, kind of spread across the room,
and then they change
twists and turns and stuff like that, with the same partner kind of gliding about the room in turns and steps, and then the music changes and you break and separate from your partner and grab onto a new partner.
Okay.
And it kind of changes into a faster twirly thing, and it gets faster and faster every time it breaks and changes.
All right.
And I imagine Kanna picks it up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know how quickly Kayl picks it up, but not everyone's good at dancing, so some people stumble and fall.
Yeah, his dexterity would not belie him, but he's he and Kanna have their own way of dancing together, which is mostly where they try and choreograph a little bit, and a lot of it is about sort of Kayl being the center post around it and sort of getting down to something around the pirouette.
Okay.
So
they're doing that kind of dance in the middle of it,
where they're comfortable, because Kanna's been working with Kayl on his two left feet, but he's still, and he loves being with her, and that's what's important to him. But he's still not the most graceful guy. We've seen him in combat. He's not the first. He's not usually the first to go in, and he's also not the most. He's not the most dexterous man out there. He's hoping to improve on that, maybe with a level up, but.
And it's tough for him too, because I mean he was raised by bards. Yeah. He can play some music. He's great with it. He's great speaking and talking. He's good hanging out with people. He just can't dance.
Yeah,
something about it just doesn't click with him.
Yeah.
All right.
His combat style also kind of belies that. Yeah, he's charge in, big swing, finish him in 2 shots. 2 shots at the most.
Okay. I would like for you to make me a dex save for Kanna and for Kayl.
Okay, dex saving throw on Kanna is at a +5. Thank goodness. That is a 24.
All right.
On Kayl, it's at a -1. Oh, wait, it's dex saving. No, still -1. That's an 18.
Wow. All right. You guys, somebody has gotten a little bit too deep into the baby ale, and as the dance kind of stirs and whips up to a faster and faster frenzied pace, somebody in the band makes a mistake. They play a wrong note, and the music kind of tumbles to a stop.
And everybody just goes, "Aww."
Well, no, and somebody thinks it's a different part of the song and starts doing a different part of the dance. They crash right into... They let go to try and switch parts because they think it's time to change to the next partner. They crash right into a pair of dancers. They fall down, crashing into 2 more pairs of dancers. And half the dance floor is down on the floor. Everybody's roaring with laughter. Somebody's going to try and help people stand up, get ready. The band is falling down, laughing up on the table. They can't start playing again. You hear a loud kind of banging, and when you look up, you see down at the kind of end of the table, somebody's helped old Gene stand up, and they took a big pot and banged on it to get everyone's attention.
Right.
And he stands up to kind of give a speech. He says, friends, townfolk, and guests, I am so glad to see you here. It is my great pride and honor to announce my great-grandson will be born. We asked the medicine. We asked what do they call him?
Healer?
Yeah, the healer. We asked healer Dante to look at my lovely granddaughter-in-law, Evelyn, and she's carrying a beautiful baby boy. I am so happy to have you here, and I hope everyone can come when we head out to the town field for the true party. And it is unfortunately late in the night, and I know everyone has work to do because we need to finish up our week's work early so everyone can go at the end
Right, we don't have a day naming scheme, do we?
I have it written down somewhere, but I don't have that notebook with me. Let's go with... nothing good is coming up off the top of my head. I'm going to start with regular weekday names. I'll give you the actual day names later on.
What about cultist?
Well, I actually have like a calendar thing written out already. I just don't have it with me. I cannot remember those names for the life of me. Right. But the party will be on Saturday. He's saying I want everyone will be on Friday. That's the traditional day for it.
All right.
He knows everybody has to we want to try and get all our work done, all the farming, all the taking care of cows and all that stuff done early so everyone can have Friday off. So he's sending everybody home. To making sure everyone's going to get home safe. He's asking for men to watch out for the women to make sure the men don't get in trouble, and everyone to be nice and quiet because the kids are starting to go to sleep. And he starts to send people off. While he is up on the table, he motions to Kayl and Kanna. Kind of gives a little wave towards him and then points back to the kitchen area. You interpret that as come talk to me in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets help from a large middle-aged looking person. Something about him is a little bit different looking. He doesn't look... He's got kind of a washed out sort of complexion. And he's a big guy. He's very large for a human. He's not as big as Tukra, but he's bigger than Kayl. Which is saying something.
So he kind of gives off the idea that maybe he's not entirely human or he's got a mixed bloodline?
Mm-hmm. Very, very much so.
Got it.
Let's see. Kanna, since she's from Laurel, doesn't know too much about that. Kayl, since he went around traveling, he's definitely seen people who look like this before. And they're always... He's either a half-orc or a half-elf. Probably leaning towards him being a half-orc since he's really big, but half-elves also have that kind of...
But they're more lean and tall.
Ghostly sort of...
Oh, the skin complexion.
Like the really pale... Something's off with how much color is in there sort of look.
Right.
And he helps old Gene down and accompanies him into the kitchen. Do you guys go talk to him?
Yeah.
All right.
Kind of a bad move to refuse the host a request.
True. So you come in and old Gene he shakes Kayl's hand and says, Thank you for coming. I'm so happy you were able to be here. This is such a joyous day for me. Not only was I able to help my grandson-in-law and my grandson and my granddaughter-in-law, but...
Or no, you had it right the first time.
No, the granddaughter is the one from the other farm. The grandson is his actual grandson.
I thought you had it the other way before.
If I did, I misspoke. The granddaughter should be the one from the other family's farm.
Got it.
That married into old Gene's family.
Okay.
But so he says it's such a nice day. He's so happy. He's glad to be with you. But he just quickly wants to make sure that you have that his grandchildren and soon to be his great-grandchild will be safe. And he introduces did I write that name down? I need to collate all my names together somewhere.
You need to make one of those RPG social charts just showing everybody's connections.
Too many different places I put notes. I have the fact of him on that set of names, but I don't have his name. This name may change, but he introduces the big pale guy as...
Hold door. No.
As Hold the Door, yes. But, no. For real, his name is... His name is Baron, or he introduces him as Baron... Baron Rockfist.
Okay.
Baron kind of quietly nods at you. And
Kayl will do the same.
And old Gene asks, who is this lovely lady?
This is Kanna and Kayl. She is my business partner, my friend, and this time he makes sure to just keep it professional.
Okay, just business partner.
Yeah.
Traveling associate.
Yeah, friend.
Well, and where are you from, my dear? You have certainly a interesting look about you.
And she has made sure to actually have on her disguise, her makeup.
Mm-hmm. But old Gene still seems to... He still has a knowing look in his eye. You think he may have seen through it somehow.
Yeah. Well, she's gonna... I'm from Laurel originally.
Oh. That's a lovely part of the world. I remember I have one of my sons went down there for a while. Hasn't returned yet, but he sent me many letters. They've come along the old roads. How did you happen to come along here? It's a long travel to make it all the way here from Laurel.
It's not so long of a travel when you don't really have much to go back to.
Well, I'm sad to hear that. I'm glad you're building a home here, and I hope we can continue to have a mutually beneficial relationship here.
And Kanna's going to I'm guessing her interaction with Jean's going to be a bit more somber than how it is with Kayl, because Kayl and Jean, it seems, have got a real buddy, old friend rapport going.
They have a very pleasant thing. Very much, Kayl is kind of like being considerate to the old man. The old man is being
sort of doting.
Yeah, almost grandfatherly, but not quite that much.
Yeah. But
definitely
like the old family friend, almost like a godfather and uncle.
Yeah, there we go. Godfather. That's a very good way of putting it. Yeah. Like you're related and you want the best for him, but you're not directly related.
Right.
You're not gonna be the one paying for their college, but you're gonna help them out for sure.
Yeah. Maybe get them their first job interview kind of thing.
Exactly, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
With Kanna, it's much more businessman to businessman.
Yeah. But yeah, so Kanna will say, I hope for the same. And about your hope that they'll be safe, that Jonathan and what is wrong with me? Evelyn. Why can't I keep?
I don't know why. It's only Evelyn. You get all the other names right.
Yeah. But yeah, Evelyn, hoping that Jonathan and Evelyn will be safe. I spoke with Hadron about this before, but we know that our line of work can bring with it some danger, and we're hoping we want everybody in our home to be safe. Everybody, our friends, our neighbors, we all want what's best for everybody here, because we know you're in this world. Kayl and our friend Tukra, I don't know if you've met him, but they're all I've had for a long time, and I know all of us wanted to be that we'll have all of you in the future, that we'll all be part of this together.
All right.
This is a transient world, Gene. Things change pretty quickly, and one thing I want to stay the same is where I make my home.
Okay. When you said Hadron, did you mean Cornish before?
Yeah, I meant Cornish.
Okay, that's what I thought. When old Gene hears you say you've talked to Cornish, there's a little bit of kind of like a little shot of pride. You see him like slight little nod, like he approves of that. He says, "Well, Baron here is. I'm sure you've heard of him. He lives a ways down past you. He usually takes up the mantle of helping to protect our town from groups like those goblins and other sorts of monsters that may have gotten in. He has been beating himself up over the fact that he let those goblins through. Years way back when they raided the farm, and he wanted to express his thanks and his apologies for the fact that those goblins ever made it there, and he would like to extend a chance to sort of work together with you as protectors for the town. He sees your location as a great secondary spot in case something passes by him.
Kayl is very quickly. He's about to put out his hand, and Kanna just slaps his forearm to make him stop. Because just saying "welcome aboard" is not her style. But she'll also recognize that the town's still standing. Yeah. He must do something, right?
Oh yeah, he's not saying he wants to go work at the farm. He's saying, "Can I count on you to help me protect the town?"
Okay, so he's not looking to join up with the Outcasts.
He's kind of offering you, in a sense, he's offering you your first job.
Yeah,
he's saying like, I'm going to keep touch with you. If I need your help to protect the town, will you be there?
And they'll both nod in that case. I thought he was offering to join the Outcasts.
Yeah, the Outcasts. That's what I figured.
Yeah. But they'll both nod and say that, and I'm sure, and Tukra will be the same. They're both sure. Kayl will say that, and Kanna will nod in agreement.
Okay. All right, so that's good. You guys
Tukra wouldn't care either way. It's just
he'd be like, oh, sure.
It's home, and it's very in tune with nature. So yeah, this seems like a place that I would not want to be besmirched or defiled by the unnatural. So yeah, let's do it. That's as close as Tukra will ever get to motivated.
All right, so that's that. The party has wound down and everyone's gone home. Baron, after he shakes Kayl's hand, just turns, walks right out. He heads out the back way. He seems like he doesn't like to be around other people too much. He likes to be on his own. Old Gene is the one who did all the talking. He didn't say a single word.
All right.
He did leave, or he did hand to Old Gene a scroll. The scroll, Old Gene then just hands right to you. When you open it up to look at it, it's blank, but there's kind of it looks like there's a worm made out of ink on it. Like it's wiggling around, and moving, and wriggling. If you take a pen and put it on it, it creates another worm of ink. But this one, it follows the pen.
Huh.
The one that is already on there or not pen, quill. The one that's on there does not respond. Old Gene tells you that this is likely how he means to stay in touch with you. And if you look at it, he may send you a message with it.
Okay.
Out of game, pretty much what it is on his, he can write a message on it and it will appear on yours.
And the wriggling worm will contort itself into...
Yeah, it will make the words. It can only make so many words at once, so you'll have to pay attention when he's writing on it.
Right.
And then same thing with yours.
Okay.
You'll be able to write him a message on it.
Sounds good.
There is, unfortunately, no way to know whether or not the other person has seen or read your message, which means you might have to sit there writing the message over and over and over again until you get some kind of message back.
All right.
But it's a handy way. It's some kind of magical means of communication. Neither of you have ever seen anything quite like it before. It might even be his own personal invention.
Interesting.
All right, so is there anything else you would like to do at the end of the night before you guys go home, or?
I think Kanna and Kayl at that point would just be ready to go home and rest, wait for Tukra's return.
Okay. Are you guys going?
They're not going back to the farm. It's not ready yet.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
They kept their rooms at the tavern until it was ready.
Mm-hmm.
So
you guys go back to the tavern. Hadron heard the good news, and there's a lot of people here drinking, continuing the celebration.
All right.
It seems like not everyone listened to Old Gene.
Yeah.
Or
listened but didn't really care. There's a party!
Mm-hmm. They wanted to keep partying. That's what they cared about. So let's see. So we've made our contracts. You've got 2 different contracts, and you've kind of agreed to help protect the town when the town is in need. Jonathan and Evelyn they kind of see this as a really good chance for them, and Gene has really helped you in making them see it that way. So for them, they're willing to say until, or at least Jonathan is saying, until actually I can get started on the farming, until we finish clearing out the farm, you don't even have to pay. I'm not really doing my job until I start farming. So he's willing to go without pay until the cleanup is finished, and he'll kind of direct the cleanup and all that. Evelyn similarly says until we start seeing guests, she'll be happy to help cook and help work with the supplies and get stuff from town for you, but all you'll have to do is provide costs for foods and stuff like that. So that's going to be I think she says she thinks it's going to be about one gold a week is how much she estimates it will cost for food for her, Jonathan, and Cornish, if Cornish is staying there, or it will be about six silver a week or so for if it's just the two of them, and then occasionally when you guys are there, it'll be a little extra for food.
Right.
So that's how much they'll need just to supply foods. And then Cornish he's asking for a gold a week for him to work.
All right.
But you will start to see after the first...
Well, ale is definitely going to be a major income.
Yeah, so after the first... How long will that take?
At least a year, because we need to actually get for the wine at least.
Well, we don't even have the grape trees for the wine yet.
Maybe 2 years.
For the ale, I think it'll be about 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks before he can start selling any ale. But he's willing, but you'll begin to get profits from that after that time. But you've got to set up the brewery and all that stuff first. But he's also willing to come and, for now he'll just come and help work as the foreman. If you want him to not come until later, you can say you know what? Let's start up our agreement once we've got the stuff to make your brewery. And until then, you keep working on your stuff at home. We'll let you know when the brewery is ready for you, or when it's time for you to make the brewery. So you can either start paying him the 1 gold a week now, or wait until he can start brewing stuff. Jonathan and Evelyn, until the fields are ready, are willing to go for just the I think
they need
7,
to eat and live.
Yeah, they need to eat and live. So 7 silver pieces, and it's, if I remember correctly, it's 10 silver to 1 gold, I think.
That sounds good.
Yeah. And then it's 250 gold pieces for the clearing out project.
Right.
And that will take 15 days for the workers, with Jonathan and Evelyn kind of commanding it.
Well, I have just enough for that. Plus, I'll leave the other 15 with Jonathan and Evelyn just as what they need. So advance pay. I trust them.
Yeah, you're leaving it for them, saying here's the money for when you do for food and stuff.
Yeah.
Plus, you've got all our money for now. You can take care of it.
Plus, Kayl and Kanna both know where they're going, or where they plan to go. There's sure to be some way to make back some of that money.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Especially considering that they're also... Kanna took down a list of what she saw and knows that there's especially a good way to help arm the town, so...
Oh, true.
Having some well-made spears and short bows, a plethora of arrows, is definitely a nice contribution to the town, or at least to the town armory.
Oh, yeah. All right, so we've got...
Kanna's not above asking for a finder's fee.
Oh, yeah, you're not going to give them for free.
Yeah.
I mean, you might give some for free, but...
Yeah.
All right, so
if they're willing to part with some money. If it was stuff that Kanna and Kayl could use for themselves, then they would keep it. But for this, it's mostly... And also, most of it's just stuff that they wouldn't get. I'm sure Kayl would argue for... Well, Seraphina would argue at first, and then Kayl would argue, because Seraphina wouldn't leave him alone, for it to just go towards bettering the town. Then Kanna would just have to get into an argument with a Celestial and Celestial's the Celestial's charge, who is also her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's the end of that day. Skipping to Tukra, could you give me a survival roll to see how well he tracks the...
He's trained in survival, thank goodness.
Oh.
Whatever. That's a 7 in total. It's once again one side away from the 20.
Oh, well, that's no good.
Does he get an advantage because it's just a head and it's rolling around and leaving a big mess? No.
No.
Nah.
He's able to spot the blood trail coming out of the little bits and pieces of blood coming out the window. He sees it drip and drop, and it's just like Kanna saw. It's that strange over-coagulated blood, but the drips are getting slowly smaller and smaller. By the time he's tracked it out to kind of the wooded area nearby, not very far at all. It's maybe like 150 yards, 200 yards or so to the edge of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
The drops are so minuscule that the trail is completely vanished. He's able to spot some footsteps, but rapidly he loses them in the undergrowth, and he doesn't know where it is. He knows that it has headed south. Or at least that was the direction he was following the footsteps in when he lost it.
Got it.
So it was at one point heading south, and that's it. That's all he's got.
All right.
But
south towards the temple.
South in general.
Okay, so they're there, and temple was area 2.
Yes.
So yeah, that's more west. No, that's the town. So south would be more towards between 1.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. The sacred shrine was area 4 actually.
Okay,
2 was that pool.
Right. So actually, it could be in that direction. Either way,
yeah.
Kanna probably, if Tukra can't follow it and Kanna doesn't care enough, they probably just go back to the shrine as their next thing.
Yeah. All right. So Tukra gets back, shares the bad news that he couldn't track it. Kanna, I assume, is a little bit concerned, but that she's just going to tell him, like, we need to be ready for when we get there.
Yeah, she's just going to shrug. I mean, she beat him pretty handily the first time. She's not afraid of him, especially with her family there, with her companions there. She's not worried about one zealot who couldn't even take her alone, and with the element of surprise.
Mm-hmm. All right. So now we are in. There, I had more. We are going to be heading to the sacred shrine. Everybody's rested up. It's been another long rest, so everyone should have all their hit dice back probably. Yeah. It's been a few days since anyone's been in combat.
Can I get the one with the eraser?
Yes.
Thanks. All right. And they actually have their healer with them this time.
Oh yeah.
Thank goodness.
They're a little bit of a healer. They're once per rest healer.
No, he's got. Oh no! I mean Tukra.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Tukra actually has. How many slots does he have? It's level 3, so probably like
6. I think.
Three firsts, 2 seconds.
Actually, 4 firsts and 2 seconds.
Okay, that's pretty good.
And he made sure to use those slots to include healing word.
Oh yeah. Do you want to check if you want to do any different spells you want to prepare?
Yeah. Let's see here.
Before you head out.
He's going to in his 4 slots, his 4 first level slots. He's going to put.
Well, remember, you just choose. What's his wisdom modifier?
Wisdom mod is 3.
Alright, so you just choose 6 spells that you want to be prepared.
Yeah.
They can be of 1st or 2nd level.
Okay. Well, he's going to choose Moonbeam and Hold Person as his 2 second slot spells. Actually,
I mean, if you wanted to, you could choose 6 2nd level spells.
True.
I just solidly would not suggest that.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Healing Word. I'm going to actually skip on Speak with Animals today.
Okay.
For now.
Oh, I need to write that down. I gotta remember.
Actually,
that for later.
You know what? Let's get rid of Earth Tremor because using an Earthquake spell underneath the ground is probably not his best bet.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go with Cure Wounds, Speak with animals. Entangle and healing word.
Tucker's gonna be so happy when he goes to the farm.
Yeah. And then let's go with. Let's go with hold person and moonbeam for the 2 slot or for the 2 second level slots he has.
I will make sure beforehand. You do know hold person only works on humanoids. Okay, good.
All right.
Okay, so you guys are traveling and you're going straight to the sacred shrine?
Yes.
All right, so roll me a D12 and a D8.
6 on the D8 and a 5 on the D12.
Okay. Roll me those one more time.
This is the D12, okay. 3 on the D12 and a 4 on the D8.
Okay. You guys have some uneventful travel. You make it through. You don't catch any sight of any new or cool places, locations, things. It's a little bit boring, as all you really do is you take your time to kind of, well, I wouldn't say boring. Kayl enjoys it. He gets to see the sights. He remembers this is a pretty nice section of road, pretty nice area. Kanna recognizes kind of the off-shooting path area where she went before with the animals, and then Tukra gets to enjoy all the plant life around him. He sees some trees that he hasn't seen that kind of tree in a while, and he kind of touches it lovingly. It reminds him of his home forest in the valley. And then you guys come out to the sacred shrine. The bear and the 2 satyrs. Yeah, 2 satyrs are gone. The bodies have disappeared entirely. Do you want to search around in the house, or do you want to go straight to the shrine?
They're going to search for stuff.
Okay, you're going to go into the house. Are you going
to... Good old looting.
So are you going to go underneath the house to that kind of raised area where you fought and look around there, or are you just going to go up the stairs into the house?
Both. Kanna's especially... She got the warning signs that there was more people living here.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to make sure to inspect every area.
Okay.
Every hidey hole that you can before moving towards unknown territory.
Alright. Let me see for a moment. Does chainmail give you disadvantage on stealth checks? I think it does.
I think only if you're untrained in it.
Chainmail. Yeah, chainmail gives you disadvantage on stealth checks.
It's not like he was winning any stealth contests to begin with.
Alright. So basically how we're going to do this, since you guys have 3, I'm pretty much going to have what you're trying to hide from's passive perception in mind.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to roll for all 3 of them. And if 2 of you succeed, or if 2 characters succeed, then you're going to have succeeded on your stealth. And if 2 of you fail, you'll have failed on your stealth.
Got it.
And if all 3 of you failed, you'll have failed spectacularly, but no worse than 2 people failing.
Okay.
Pretty much, I don't like the idea that one person is going to get caught out, because then it's just Kayl is always going to get caught out.
Right. Whereas
Kanna and Tukra might succeed, or Kanna's going to succeed most of the time, and Tukra's going to succeed some of the time. So you'll either succeed as a group or fail as a group. So let's roll for Kanna first, to see how she does.
Alright, stealth with Kanna is at a +7. Woo! That's a 25.
Alright, she succeeds. I don't even have to check.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see Tukra.
Tukra has a stealth of 0. He's not that dexterous, but he's not bad either.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 3, though.
Alright. I'm pretty sure that's not good enough. Let's see how Kayl does.
You said a disadvantage?
Mm-hmm.
He either got a 7 or a 16 with the modifier.
Alright, so we got a 7, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, you guys you're checking out the bottom area first. You're kind of scouting out that well area where Kanna had seen the satyrs come from before.
Mm-hmm.
And let me steal one of those d20s real quick, actually. Thank you. Alright. Yeah, I'll keep that for a minute. So you all hear something coming down the stairs. It's quite loud and pretty obvious, so you have a chance to to try and hide and move into position if you would like.
Yeah, let's take a hide action.
Alright. Everybody's gonna hide?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so roll me similarly stealth for Kanna, and then stealth for everybody.
Kanna got a 10.
Alright.
It's not that easy hiding when you've got a giant Goliath with you and a guy who basically sounds like an entire battalion when he walks.
Mm-hmm.
Stealth for Kayl. Huh, you got a third. Oh, right, disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
He got a 10. And
Okay.
Tukra got a 15.
Alright, pretty good. I need that one. Come on. What page was that on?
Excuse me.
Alright, we'll go with that for now. Put that like that. So, from up above you, you see a satyr comes down the stairs. You hear his hooves kind of clop, clop, clop down the steps. He is larger. Kanna sees that he is larger than the other satyrs that they saw, or that she saw.
Mm-hmm.
And he's carrying a big spear, like a very large spear, taller than he is. Looks like it could reach far away. He takes a quick look around once he gets to the base of the stairs, and while you don't feel like he has seen you, he doesn't go back up the stairs. He kind of creeps out into that under passageway, moving towards where the satyrs were killed, where they had fallen. And he kind of lifts his head up and sniffs at the air. You can see he's got there's some kind of like ripple that goes across his flesh, and you can see the fur that's on him changes slightly, like the look of it changes. Where before he kind of had he had kind of that classic goatee sort of look, and he had sort of rough, short goat hair. It's now a little bit shaggier and longer, and the color is different. It's got a sort of brown and white mix as opposed to just a white color, and he's sniffing at the air. All right. He turns, or rather, while he is sniffing, do you want to try and do anything?
I think they kind of will try to do a better job of hiding.
So she's gonna...
Actually, maybe she would take a shot at him, because she doesn't have... Her only recollection of these guys is that they attacked her, so she's not one. She would rather take the first shot if she can help it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Kanna's going to draw her short bow and attack.
Are you guys hiding together, like all in one place? Is Tukra gonna try and stop her from attacking this creature?
Tukra would look concerned, but Kanna told him that they had aggressed against her before, so he's going to... No, you know what? Tukra would try and stop him, because he recognizes that satyrs are just part of the natural world, and they were encroaching on their territory before, so yeah, he would actually try and make Kanna lower her bow.
Okay.
Give it Give it a second, my child. Let's see if we can take a more peaceful approach.
Alright. Does that work?
Kanna is grudgingly willing to listen to Tukra on this one. She respects Tukra's negotiation with the more monstrous beings. Actually, to her, a satyr and a goblin are sort of in the same boat in her mind because they're all creatures that they're not exactly humanoid, and they're not known for being particularly nice to humans. That's how she sees it.
Yeah, and I mean, the last time she met with these guys, they attacked her with no warning at all.
Exactly.
Now, granted, that's because her allies attacked them first, but
yeah.
All right. So she's willing to put it down.
It's not that she dislikes other species. It's just that she's
going off experience.
Yeah.
And it's what many people would consider a monster.
Yeah.
And thus something to be killed. All right. So Satyr's fur kind of continues its change, and it has very much kind of a shaggy sort of sheepdog look to the fur now, and its nose has actually kind of grown out a little into something of a snout.
Huh.
It turns, and it now actually looks directly at you, and it has clearly found where you guys are. It's on pretty much the other side of the bottom of the house. It's a good 40 feet away or so. And it takes a few steps towards you. And after it does so, it leaps back in surprise and kind of shock and shouts something that Kanna does not recognize, but Tukra recognizes as the Sylvan words for cold iron.
Tukra actually left his shackles and his and the lantern
what
back
does
at
Kanna have?
I know she has the knife, but I just wanted to emphasize that was the only thing on them.
Yeah. I assume you leave artifacts and stuff like that at your house unless you want to bring them.
Yeah. Tukra's going to put up his hands trying to make a universal sign of non-aggression.
Okay.
And he's going to slowly walk out towards the satyr.
Okay.
And when he hears the words cold iron, he's going to tell Kanna to take out the knife and just drop it on the ground.
Does Kanna do that?
No. She'll listen to Tukra, but she's not willing to just leave herself defenseless.
Okay. That's what I thought.
And Tukra's... Well, he's not going to be happy about that, but he's just going to keep moving towards and trying to... He can't speak Sylvan.
Mm-hmm.
He can speak, but he'll try Druidic to see if that actually works.
Okay.
But he's just going to say, "It's all right. We're not here to cause any trouble."
The satyr, you can see its fur again ripples and changes, and it recedes slightly, and turns all brown and more coarse, and it shouts again the words cold iron and another word that you don't quite recognize, and then it hefts its spear and prepares to attack. What do you want to do?
Tucker's going to make an intimidation check.
Okay, how are you trying to intimidate it?
With the... okay. By transforming. He's going to actually use his...
he's going to use a charge of wild shape.
Yep, he's going to try and use wild shape, and he's going to transform into a... Can he turn into a brown bear at this point? It's a challenge. He can turn into anything with a challenge level of 1, right?
I believe he can turn into a brown bear. Let me check. It might be a black bear. No, brown bear.
Brown bear. But he's going to turn into a brown bear and roar.
Okay.
But he's going to try and show it in the way... He's seen brown bears act, and he knows that there's a roar where they're going to aggress and a roar where they're just being territorial and trying to tell somebody to back off.
There's them saying, hey, this is my house, and them saying, get out of my house. They're like the very different roars.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's going to try and he's trying to show that because he's trying to show that he's telling this guy to back down, to stand down, but I'm not going to attack you. You are trying to hurt me and my friends, so you calm the heck down and don't try anything stupid, or else you're going to have a grizzly, or you're going to have a brown bear's maw around your throat.
Okay, go ahead and roll for that.
His intimidation is at a 0. Unfortunately, his charisma is garbage. But
that's fine.
That is a 9.
All right. You transform into a brown bear, and you are large and intimidating, and you roar loudly with a very clear kind of message and intent in mind. And the satyr, in turn, plucks up his spear and stabs directly at you.
All right.
You have not succeeded in intimidating him.
Yeah.
Let's see. So
I should look up the stats for a brown bear.
All right. He manages to hit you. Could I steal a D8? Or rather, could you roll a D8 for me? That'll be easier.
Do I have to? Oh, geez, max damage.
Oh, that's lots of fun. Yay. Alright, so you take
8 damage?
No. 11 damage.
Jeez.
But you do currently have 34 hit points instead of your actual hit points.
Oh.
Because you are a brown bear and they have 34 hit points. You do, unfortunately, also only have an armor class of 11. But you've got a nice bag of hit points that will turn back into your actual hit points when you come back, so.
Okay.
So let's get that in there. And then this was on this page. That there. Alright, so now it will be initiative.
Tukra rolls at... He got a 5. Kanna got a 12. And Kayl got a 5.
Alright. So... You said Kanna had a 12?
Mm-hmm.
Tukra had a 5.
And Kayl had a 5.
And Kayl had a 5. Alright. So, the large, powerful looking satyr, he will be able to go first. He reacts more quickly than any of you guys. And... excuse me. He moves forwards and swings at you again from... he's actually 10 feet away from you, so his weapon has reach. He swings and he manages to hit you again with his large spear, this time coming slicing down on the back of your head, kind of slicing into your back slightly, and whacking you on the back of your head.
Right.
So roll a d8.
That's 4.
Alright, so take 7 points of damage. Now it is Kanna's turn.
Well, Kanna's no longer messing around. She pulls out her short bow and she fires at this guy.
Alright, make a roll for me.
13 plus 5 is an 18.
Alright, she manages to hit.
Alright. Unfortunately, she doesn't get that advantage thing because...
Yeah, no sneak attack because Tukra's 10 feet away and not 5 feet away.
So that's a 1d6 plus 3 damage. Nearly max damage, so that's 8 damage.
Nice. Alright, now it is Tukra's turn.
Tukra's still trying to take the peaceful route, so he's actually going to try and pin the satyr.
Okay, so he's going to try and grapple.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make an athletics check for me.
Okay, so I've got advantage on this.
You get a +4 to your for your strength, because bears have 19 strength.
Sweet. Plus advantage, right? Because he's a natural athlete. Or no, that just means he gets...
That means you're proficient.
So +4. That's a 22.
Alright. Come on, satyr. You've got a lot of strength, so use it. Nope. He is grappled by you.
Alright.
So that means his speed is reduced to 0, and attacks... No, yeah, that's all there is for grappled. Alright, so I guess that is now Kayl's turn.
Well, I had more actions I wanted to do with Tukra there. More speaking actions.
Oh, you want to talk to him as well?
Yeah,
okay. You can use your bonus action to try and do some sort of talking.
Yeah, he was going to just... When he has him grappled...
Now, granted, you can't talk since you can't actually use language since you're an animal right now.
True.
But you can try and communicate through roars.
Yeah, I'm trying to roar him into being scared into just stopping his attack, to calming down and stopping his aggressions.
Okay.
So
make a straight charisma check.
Okay. That's a 0. That, darn it, 9 or 19. So I got a 9.
Oh, 9. All right. So you, as a bear, have kind of lumbered up onto your back legs, fallen down on him, bear hugging him literally, and then roared right in his face in a moderately terrifying manner. And he does not seem ready to stop fighting after being roared at and hugged by a bear. But he is shaken slightly, because this is a terrifying circumstance.
Right.
Now it is Kayl's turn.
Kayl's of the same mindset as Kanna, in that this guy just stabbed his friend twice.
Yeah.
Pretty heavily. You can see Tukra's bleeding. You can see the pool of blood start coming out between the grapple.
Yeah.
And so he's just going to pull out his axe and he's going to go for this guy's neck.
Okay.
Or just to bury it in his back, because there's only so many places he can safely hit while Tukra's grappling him.
Alright. So you can charge up. Takes your full movement to get up right next to him.
Yeah. That's a 17. Oh, it's so close.
Hold on.
17 plus 5.
Alright.
17 plus 6.
That is a hit.
Alright, so that's 1d8 plus 4. That's 9 damage in total.
Alright. He is decidedly wounded. Your swing comes down and you catch him kind of... Tukra is sort of hugging him and moving and jostling about with him, and you manage to catch right as Tukra's paw comes up and exposes the satyr's side, and you catch him heavily in the side.
Alright.
Giving him a big matching wound to Tukra's big gaping wound on his own side. Now it is back to the top of the order. The satyr being greatly outnumbered and in severe seeming danger, the satyr kind of puts on a brave face and calls out something in Sylvan. It has the sound of some kind of battle cry or cry out to a god, and he brings his spear to bear and tries to poke his way at Kayl. Kayl just took a big smack out of him, and he feels the satyr looks more comfortable attacking a human than a animal. He gets a 21 to hit. So I think that makes it against Kayl.
So what was it again?
21 to hit.
Oh yeah, that'll hit.
Alright, so roll me that d8. You could use the d20, that's fine.
That's 7.
7? Man, you need to stop rolling so well for this guy. Alright, take 10 damage, Kayl. Alright, now it is Kanna's turn again. And luckily, she does have allies within 5 feet of him now.
Yeah, she's going to while she's moving in to attack, she's going to shift from her short bow to her cold iron dagger, which I'm guessing will get some reaction out of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But she's going to strike with it. That's sneak attack?
That does require your bonus action to get close enough, actually.
Okay.
Oh, wait. No. You're just far enough away.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, that... It doesn't get... You don't get advantage, but if you do hit, you get your sneak attack dice.
Yeah.
So, go for it. And this is a fey, so your cold iron dagger counts as a +1.
Got it. That's a natural 1.
Oh. Well... Out of such strong fear and distaste for cold iron, even though he's occupied tussling with both Tukra and Kayl, the satyr manages to feel your strike coming in and kind of twists himself out of the way, and you strike the ground. Would you like to do anything else?
No. I think,
Okay. Now it is Tukra's turn.
Okay. Tukra's going to make a melee attack. Since he's still in bear form, he's just going to make an attack just by trying to crush this thing in his arms. He feels negotiations have broken down. There's no way this thing's going to just calm down after being slashed with a battle axe, and yeah, he's just going to attack.
So you can make either a bite attack or a claws attack, or you can take the multi-attack action, which is 1 bite and 1 claw.
Okay.
Do you want to do the multi-attack, or do you want to do a single attack?
He'll do the claws attack, because that kind of makes sense since he's holding onto this thing. Just start sinking his claws in.
Okay. So that is... Make a weapon attack roll.
That's an 8 plus his strength modifier, I guess?
5.
So 12, 13?
13. 13 is... just enough. Just barely hits him. So that is 2d6 plus 4.
5 plus 4 is 9.
9, alright. So that's... He is not doing well. This is definitely turning into his last stand. Kayl is up.
Okay, Kayl is going to swing his axe in.
Alright.
He's just trying his best to make this guy be quiet now.
Okay,
stop
he's just trying to take him down.
Yeah.
Alright, go for it.
That is a 6 plus 5. No, 6 plus 6, actually, so that's 12.
Alright, that is just barely not enough.
Right.
So Kayl swings down overhead and at the last moment has to kind of divert his axe away to avoid hitting Tukra as the satyr manages to jostle Tukra into place slightly. They're stuck together and intertwined, and everything's getting messy and difficult because of it.
Right.
It goes back up to the top, and the satyr now in range and disgusted with the cold iron turns its spear and does its best to try and strike Kanna.
Has he actually managed to break out of the grapple?
No, he hasn't tried to break out of the grapple yet.
Oh.
He's just been swinging. Alright. Gets an 8 to hit, which is not good enough against Kanna.
Nope.
So he can't... The combined effort of trying to bring his weapon to bear against 3 different people at once, he can't manage to get the bladed end up, and his attack fizzles out, held back by 2 people fighting with him and 1 person dancing out of the way. Right. Now it goes to Kanna's turn.
Alright. That is, on her attack roll, that's a 13 plus 5 is 18.
Alright, that'll be enough.
Alright,
And this will be a sneak attack.
Alright, so that's the 2d6.
Mm-hmm.
Along with the daggers.
1d4, and then add 2. 1 for cold damage, 1 for the fey bonus.
Right. Actually, plus
and then your
5.
dex as well.
So that's a lot of damage. So, actually not that much. That's 6 from the dice itself, plus the 2 is 8 from the from the dagger.
And then plus 3 from her dex.
So 11.
11.
That's still pretty good, actually.
That is the executing blow. The satyr is down and out, and kind of he starts to fade away into this sort of twinkling. The shadow fae, when they die, they sort of turn into those little into little shadowy bits.
All right.
His kind of, as he dies and passes, kind of have little bursts of light as the pieces of him fall apart and fall away. He leaves behind just a plain old set of leather armor, or rather, it's the same kind of looking leather armor as Kanna is wearing, because that's that same glimmer fae vest. But this doesn't seem to be special in any way.
Well, considering he was shifting his looks, I don't know if that was him or if that was the vest.
Well, as he kind of dies, you see the body shrinks a good bit, and the fur all kind of changes back to goat's, like goat's fur kind of look. And he seems to resume a more normal appearance.
All right.
Nothing else seems to have heard your struggle. You don't notice any movement in the house. You don't see any movement anywhere around you. Do you want to check out the house, or do you want to go down to the shrine?
Yeah, but they're going to check out the house, but while they're moving, Tukra's going to cast healing. Well, he's going to change back into his Goliath form, and he's going to cast Cure Wounds on himself and on Kayl.
Alright, so roll, I think that's 1d8.
Plus
your spellcasting modifier.
Okay, spellcasting mod is 5.
And actually, before you roll, I will let you choose. Do you want to roll once, or do you want to roll twice?
Don't I have to roll twice because it's...
Yeah, but I'm letting you choose.
I'll roll twice.
Okay.
2 different castings, 2 different levels of success.
Mm-hmm.
So a d8 plus... Sorry, did you say it's my spellcasting attack? My
spellcasting modifier.
Or my ability, got it.
Yeah.
So that's plus 3. So...
Alright, gains 4.
He's back up to 20, and since he's back in human form, he's at 20.
Well, he's actually... When he goes back to human form, he actually has his full health.
Oh.
It's only his animal form that gets hurt.
Got it.
The way it works is if you get reduced to 0 in animal form, you just revert back to human form with whatever health you had when you changed.
Okay. Then he'll just do it on Kayl then, because
I'm going to say just use the one on Kayl.
Kanna actually didn't take any damage in that fight, so...
You don't need to waste 2 castings when probably 1 casting is fine.
Oh, and that's max.
Okay,
so that's just enough to get him back up to full.
Alright.
I'm liking beast form more and more.
Oh yeah, wild shape is great.
Wild shape, yeah.
Now remember, you only have 1 more use of wild shape today. And mark off your 2 first level slots you've used, or 1 first level slot you've used.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright. So you go up into the house, you see evidence that people have... Kanna sees that things are different. Like, stuff has been moved, things are here that weren't there before, there's more spears, there's less bows, there's fewer spears, there's less bows, or there's more bows, there's a couple swords here now. They all seem same quality as the ones that were there before, they seem like just plain ones. There's a strange looking leaf on the table with when you look closely at it, the vines seem to be spelling out words. No one can quite make out what they say. Tukra believes this must be what Sylvan writing looks like, and knows that Lady Green would definitely be able to read it for them if they brought it back for her.
All right. And well, he doesn't have any I think he doesn't have any writing materials, so
yeah. Well, you could just take the leaf.
True.
It's just a leaf.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, he'd take that.
Yeah. And do you want to investigate the house, or are you just cool going down now that you've seen no one's in it?
Let's investigate the house first.
Alright. So make an investigation roll for everybody, and we'll do the same thing as with the stealth. If 2 people succeed, you'll find the stuff. If 2 people fail, you'll miss it.
All right, on Tukra, investigation's at a 0, but he rolls a 14.
Okay.
On Kayl, investigation's at a +1.
Okay.
That's an 11.
All right.
On Kanna, investigation is a +2. And that's a 6.
Unfortunately, you find no more than what Kanna has already found in the house and the leaf.
Oops, sorry, that was not intended. But dang it, I need to up their intelligence a little bit. It feels like everybody needs this level 4 stat boost.
The stat boosts, they just make everything so much better.
Yeah.
I think proficiency bumps up soon. I think that's level 2, which will make everything feel better.
Indeed.
All right. So, do you want to head down into the cave? Or not the cave, the shrine?
Yeah. You're not allowed to... The expression is take a 20, right? Where you would just roll until you get what you need?
Yeah, take 20 was a thing. I think it was a 3.5 thing.
Yeah.
You could, if you weren't rushed or hurried, you could take 10, which was basically spend 10... If you had 10 minutes to spend, you could just get a 10 on the roll plus your bonuses.
Got it.
And you could take 20, which was... You would spend basically a day doing it until you did it perfectly. If you wanted to, you could sit around and try to take your time to find out.
No, I just wanted to know if that was still a thing, but no, that's fine. I'll
say if you're taking a rest, like if you're going to do a long rest, spend the night, I would let you, if you wanted to also look around, make it a longer rest, maybe make it a 12-hour rest instead of an 8-hour rest, and you'd probably be able to find any traps in the area, find any loot hidden or anything like that. But you might have to make a couple rolls for that too, to see if there are traps or something. You would have to make rolls. Just finding stuff, you'd be able to find it after spending long enough. So you're heading down into the place?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they're not willing to take a long rest. Not if it means that they might get ambushed.
Alright, so you come down into this area here. You go down the hole, just like you'd done before. And this time you have Tukra with you lighting the way. And that makes it so much easier to see that those zealots ran you around a lot. They ran in circles and went around this place several times trying to lose you. It's not a giant, big, cavernous structure.
Okay.
But it's fairly big. It's but it's not bigger than a standard house. Or bigger than a large building.
Got it.
It doesn't sprawl out for miles. You come down into a room. It's that room with all the moss and stuff on the ground to make for a soft landing pad. There are 3 different doorways you can go down. The doors are closed on all of them, and you see several religious icons about the north wall. About this wall up here, you see lots of different pictures. One of them's the symbol of Ignobilis. There's one for Thor and Loki. There's one for Pelor. There's one for all sorts of different gods. And they're kind of think a wall full of graffiti where they're just kind of slapped on top of another.
Okay.
They're all just kind of covering over each other, as if someone was just putting up every symbol they could possibly think of. And when they ran out of space, they started being like, I can kind of fit it around Thor's symbol. I'll put it around Thor's symbol.
All right. So either they're trying to mislead in the way as Ignobilis does, or this was actually a communal shrine that just people would take it over and just paint it with their god symbol without removing the others, which makes it sound more like it'd be Ignobilis, because they would just get rid of every symbology of the old god to put in for the new, right?
Well, you don't know.
Yeah.
Both make perfect sense to you.
Fair enough.
So you've got the west door, south door, and east door. What door do you want to go out?
Let's check out the east door. A4.
Okay, thank you. My brain got so lost in directions there. So, you open up the door and you see this is actually that shrine. This is actually the altar room where the statue of the Naga was before.
Huh.
It was right here off the start. You got ran around in circles.
Sheesh.
But there are several things missing from this room. Namely, the 2 dead bodies of the Yanti zealots and the statue of the Naga is gone.
Right.
Make a perception roll for me.
On Kanna?
On...
Tukra?
What's your average perception bonus?
Let's see. Tukra's got 5. Kayl's got 2. And Kanna's got 1. So,
Alright, so call that
6. It's a +2 if I average it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, is that right? 5?
Wait.
No, that's an 8. So that's
8.
We'll call
8
it a 3.
divided by
so
3.
make it out of 3.
Okay.
Make it out of +3, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a 15.
Alright. You notice there is a dust, kind of a path of dust, disturbed, leading off in 2 directions, coming down from the dais that the statue of the Naga was on. It leads up into this doorway here, into the area labeled A3, and it leads out this way off the area from A4 into this hallway. It looks like the dust was disturbed once going out into the hallway, and then again coming back, and then it went up over the thing and down and over into the other room.
Okay.
So it looks like it went out there, then back and out here.
Right. Should we just do a sweeping investigation of the whole area?
You can do that, yeah. You can go, but make sure to tell me what rooms you're going to in which order.
Check out A3 first.
Alright, heading into A3.
And they're not going to pull the silly thing of splitting up. They're going to stay together.
Okay. You open the door to A3 and you notice the disturbed dust leads to a stairwell, and it's a big spiral stairwell going down. This looks like it leads deeper into the ground, into the earth. Tukra can hear a sort of snoring, kind of hooing noise.
Okay.
And it seems to be coming from down. It seems to be coming both from down the stairs, and you faintly hear it coming from around you, from somewhere within the level you're on.
Okay. Guess we'll follow the sound. Follow the sound.
Going down, or going on the level?
On the level.
Okay, so you're following the sound.
Clear out a floor before you go down a level.
Alright. So you head back out. You'll head back out into this room. The sound seems to be coming from off the west direction, off this way.
Alright, so we'll go back through A1, then head through the A9B corridor, but the other way down towards A9.
Okay, down towards
A9C.
A9A.
Yeah, then going up to A9C.
Up to A9C. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to check out first room A7 at the far end.
Alright, as you're walking out this way, you hear the sound more strongly coming from this area. From up this direction of the hallway.
Alright, then actually they would probably beeline for A9B then first.
Okay. As you go up... Alright, as you are walking in the hallway, you see again countless religious icons on the walls. This time, before they were painted on the walls, now they're
carved?
It's like every few inches there's like a inset sort of piece in the wall where there's a carving of some kind of figure of a god or a messiah or something religious.
Alright.
You recognize some of them, you don't recognize all of them. Some of them seem to match up pretty easily with the different religious icons you've seen. Other ones don't look like Other ones don't look like anything that you recognize. Like, there's some that are super obvious, like Mjolnir is on there, and you see a sort of laughing monkey that is... Oh, what is that guy? I think it's a Nazi? No, he's a spider.
Anansi, yeah.
Anansi, yeah.
The trickster spider.
Yeah, you see a pretty clear Anansi. You see something that looks like Lolith. You see something that looks like... You see a sun. You see Bahamut. And then you see weird stuff like an older woman breastfeeding a child. You see a big long... You see an Ouroboros. You see something. You see a cloth covering over one of them that looks kind of like the cowl that the zealots were wearing, the ignobilis sort of cowl that they wear, but it doesn't look exactly like it. It has a different sort of molded face on it.
All right.
And as you're walking down, you can hear that the sound seems to be coming out of this A8 area. Do you want to do anything in the hallway, or do you want to go investigate the A8?
They probably do an investigation of A9B, of Hall A9B first, though.
Okay, so what do you want to do? Do you want to look at more of the icons? Do you want to mess with that, the one that's covered? Do you want to touch things, poke things, pull things off, light things on fire?
I was curious about the molded mask one, just to be sure there, but otherwise it's just a general investigation to make sure there's no traps or anything like that.
Okay, so you're looking for traps, looking for things that are not as they appear to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Make an investigation roll.
All right. So
you can choose whichever one you want to be doing the investigating. The other two will be kind of standing guard.
Yeah. Let's have Kanna do that.
All right.
+2. 19.
All right. So you notice two things that seem strange. Okay. You notice two things that seem strange. The covered over icon, when she's checking it out, it looks really bulky. And do you want her to take it off to examine it, or just look at it?
She's going to look at it.
Okay, just looking at it?
Yeah.
It looks extremely bulky for a dust cover or for something that someone would wear. Like, it looks like it belongs somewhere else. That it's supposed to go on something. And this wall here is really weird. Something about it seems off. It seems like it's got like different craftsmanship than the rest of the walls, made of different materials and different sort of in a slightly different pattern than the other walls are. These are all not brick walls, but stone and mortar, and there's a clear pattern and quality to one walls, and then when you turn this corner, it looks different. But you gotta look real close to notice it. Someone was trying to match the same pattern as that wall, but it's different. You think there might be something hidden. Not necessarily in this wall, but in behind this area somewhere. There might be something hidden. And those are the things she finds. She thinks the Ignobilis mask does not belong here. She thinks there's something up with this wall.
Okay, in regard to that, then she's going to, I think she'll try and remove the Ignobilis mask.
Okay. It comes off, and it is a 5-headed representation of a dragon.
Tiamat.
So it's definitely not Ignobilis, but why would Ignobilis' mask have been on an icon for Tiamat?
I don't know.
Who knows? These are crazy people here. Alright, but that's all that strikes her as strange about the place. She doesn't find any traps. No traps go off while she's looking around. And nothing changes after she takes the cowl off.
Okay. Then they're going to investigate section A8.
All right.
Quietly.
Quietly?
Yeah. Try and open the door quietly.
All right. Who's opening the door?
Kanna.
Okay. She's able to open it quietly. And gotta find a page for this. Or actually, I should just look in the index. That'll make it easier. So you open the door, and you are able to open it quite quietly. Because that's kind of one of the things you do. And inside, you see several well-kept sleeping mats and pillows and blankets. The blankets and pillows, however, are bloodied and gathered together in some kind of circular nest sort of shape in the corner of the room. They're piled up, and some of them have fallen over. It looks almost like something put them on top of itself to keep warm. That, however, is not the most surprising part of the room. The most surprising part is you look within, and there is a large, purple-feathered animal that is resting on top of one of the mats. It's quiet. It breathes in air, and it sounds like it's growling slightly, and then when it exhales, it goes, whoo, 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 whoo. This is an animal that Kanna has never seen before.
Well, I definitely know it's an owl bear, but would Tukra have to...
Tukra has never seen this animal either.
But would he be able to... Okay, he hasn't seen it.
He might have heard of something like this before.
But to him, this would also be sort of an abomination. It's a magical...
Oh yeah, this is a non-natural animal.
Fire or ice, whatever works, is his mentality. Unless, of course, he can just leave it be, but it looks like this thing has been killing people. Or it's been killing something.
So what are you gonna do?
What's the point in engaging in combat if we can just leave it alone, right?
I don't know. You yourself said clear out a level before you go down.
Exactly. Alright, I think that Kanna and Kayl... No, you know what? I think they try to investigate the room without waking it up first. If it does wake up, then they'll take care of it.
Then you'll take care of it? Alright, so make me your stealth checks.
Okay, on Kanna. Ay. She's not rolling well today. Well, that's still a 10.
Okay. Let's see for Tukra. Or actually, is Tukra going in even?
Yeah, but he...
Yeah, that's Jinx, so try that again on the book. There we go.
18.
Alright.
And on
disadvantage for Kayl.
With the -1. Yeah, they got a 3 or a 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think you could beat that first one.
Yeah.
Alright, so Kanna glides in there quietly, slowly, looking around, checking out kind of like the piled up books. She waves on in Kayl. Kayl clanks his ass in there.
Yeah.
Like, la-di-da-di-da.
Yeah, he just trips over a cobblestone and ends up just making his chainmail shake.
Yeah, he trips and his chainmail shakes. Tukra's like, oh no, Kayl!
Yeah.
Shouts out real loud. Owlbear is like, huh?
Well, actually, Tukra rolled an 18.
Tukra rolled an 18?
Kanna
was the one who...
Yeah, she messed up.
Alright, so Tukra quietly and slowly goes in and he examines the owlbear. Unless he wants to examine the...
No, he'd go for the owl. He'd investigate the owlbear first.
Yeah, he's looking at it like, oh, this is weird. What could have possibly caused this? This doesn't make any sense. And then Kayl trips, and Kanna's like, oh no, Kayl! You're gonna wake up the owl! And of course, the owlbear wakes up, and it looks around bleary-eyed, and it sees intruders. It hoot roars at you.
I think more like a shriek, like a yeah, or however owls when they're about to attack.
Yeah, when they're predatoring.
Yeah. So roll for initiative.
So roll for initiative.
On Tukra, that's a 1.
Tukra, that's a 1.
Yep. On Kayl, that's a 19.
Kayl, you're getting out of order here. That's not right.
On Kanna, it's 6 plus 3, so that's a 9.
19. 9. Tukra. 1. Alright. And Owly at that number. Alright. So, as you can see, the room is not that large. It's 10 by 10.
Alright.
So you've got, within here is kind of in this 5-foot area is the circular kind of mats area. If someone crouches down in there, that'll be half cover to anything anything in this square. It'll be no cover to anything in this square.
Alright.
And half cover to anything. Well, half cover to anything on this side. No cover to anything in this square.
Alright.
There's a bed on here that can get you high ground. You'll basically get, what do you do? I'll ignore that. That just adds numbers to it. That's not useful. Basically just, someone in here can hide and get a little bit of bonus AC to someone on this side. There's beds here and here. There's objects strewn about the room that you could pick up and use if you wanted to.
Alright.
And Kayl gets to go first.
Okay, Kayl's going to pull out his battle axe and go for the standard.
And go for the big swing. Is he two-handed it or one-handed it?
One-handed. He's keeping that shield out. He does.
Okay.
He sees those claws.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was hoping for the 19 or the 20.
What'd you get?
Well, I got an 18 with my modifier.
That's a hit. Go ahead and roll that damage.
Alright, so that's a 1d8. Where's my d8? 1d8 plus 4 damage. That's 7 damage.
Alright, 7 damage. Now it is the owlbear's turn. It shrugs off your blow like it was nothing, and huffs up its shoulders and hops up slightly to take a big, sweeping swipe with its claws at Tukra, the one who just hit him.
Or Kayl then?
Or Kayl, the one who just hit him. Why am I saying Tukra? Alright, that is an 11. Does not quite manage to make its way past Kayl's skillfully placed shield, deflecting its claws. There's a horrifically loud boom and bang, like hitting a gong as it strikes against the shield, but Kayl is able to hold on and withstand perfectly well.
Awesome.
Now it is Kanna's turn.
Alright, she's going to move in, take 5 feet of her movement action to swing at this thing while Kayl's next to it, so if she hits, she'll get sneak attack dice. With the cold iron dagger, so that's +1, and that is a 3.
Alright, so that's no hitting.
She's going to take her bonus action to try and exit out of the room and just hide. Take a hide action.
Okay, so she's going to run and hide outside the doorway?
Yeah.
Alright, make a stealth check for you.
9 plus 7.
So that's 16. Okay. You feel fairly well hidden.
Alright.
Now it is Tukra. He is up.
Tukra's going to come in with his, where is he? Okay. He'll come in with his frostbite attack.
Okay.
His frostbite cantrip.
So that is a Constitution save for
Yep.
him, I believe.
Spell save DC of 13.
Alright. You see frost begin to form on the owlbear, but it simply shivers its feathers and the frost kind of breaks off and breaks away.
All right.
That is a save for no effect, right?
I believe so. Frostbite's in Elemental Evil, though.
Got that in here somewhere. Alright, so it goes back to the top of the order. It's Kayl's turn, if you want to think about what he's doing.
Oh, Kayl, he's a one-hit wonder. He just, he goes again for the attack.
Alright, roll up that roll.
That's 6 plus 6 is a 12.
Okay, so that is that. So that is a 12, you said?
Yep.
The strike was not quite strong enough. It doesn't manage to pierce through the thick, fluffy hide of the owlbear.
Alright.
And the owlbear again sets its eyes on Kayl, and this time, having failed with its claw, it springs forward with its mouth kind of curling its neck back and then striking forwards.
Alright.
To try and bite right around Kayl's kind of midsection. He gets a 14 to hit.
Kayl has 18
which is
class.
Not quite good enough. The owlbear kind of goes up and bites uselessly against your chainmail shirt.
Got it.
All right. Now on to Kanna.
Alright, Kanna is going to move back in and try and get another knife strike on this thing.
Okay.
Nat 20.
Alright, that's a crit, so that'll hit. So that's 2d4 plus 46.
Jeez.
And then your modifier once, and 1 cold damage.
That's 6, 12, 17. You sure that was 46?
Mm-hmm. It's 2d6, and then you double it.
Jeez. For the sneak attack?
Mm.
Wow. 6, 12, 17, 21, 23, 27, plus modifier of 3.
3.
So 30, plus the 1 for the cold damage. So 31 damage.
God! Kanna, you monster.
Yeah.
Jeez. Alright. So when Kayl hit it, it just kind of shook it off. When Tukra tried to frost it, it just kind of said, "No, I'm fine, thanks. I don't need any AC." When Kanna hit it, it was like, "Please call my mommy. I'm hurt."
I actually think that she saw an opportunity when it extended its neck and went for the soft part of the soft muscle in the neck.
It is in a lot of pain. It is bleeding profusely and weakening, and it looks like it's weakening by the second. But it is still alive and fighting. It now goes to Tukra, though.
Alright. Tukra's going to abandon magic for the moment and try using his spear.
Okay. Make your attack roll.
Alright. So he's two-handing it also.
Okay.
He shifted back since he doesn't have an implement in his other hand. I think. This is wooden shield, actually. But no, he could...
Well, then he could drop his shield and two-handed if he wanted to.
Nah, we'll keep it one hand because he didn't declare that.
Okay.
Or no, wait, he doesn't have his wooden shield in his hand, he has his implement in his other hand.
I thought his staff was his implement.
Yeah, the rowan. Oh yeah, he's using the rowan staff, isn't he? Not the spear.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Okay. So... How's that working? It's 2 clubs.
It's either 2 clubs or a quarterstaff.
Okay.
Whichever form you want it to be. You can switch them between those 2 with a bonus action.
Okay. He had it as a single...
I would assume he was holding it as a staff, because that's
as a staff.
kind of the likely one.
Yeah.
So that means that it works as a quarterstaff
and
under the effect of Shillelagh, which I need to check.
Yeah.
That lets you...
It's also a shamanic implement while it's in that form, right?
Yes.
Plus 2 weapon against damaged demons.
Where is that? Shillelagh. Alright, so you can use your spellcasting ability instead of strength for the attack and damage roll of melee weapons using the weapon. The damage die becomes a D8, and it's magical if it isn't already.
Alright, so I'll put it as 1d8. Right?
Yep.
And its attack bonus is +3, since that's my spellcasting bonus.
And your proficiency, because you are proficient with quarterstaves.
Sweet, so +5 on that.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean... And
then when you do the damage, it'll be plus your wisdom, so +3.
Alright.
Go for it.
19, his first time actually making a melee attack.
Alright, he swings forwards with the Rowan staff, and as he swings, it kind of speeds itself along, slapping right into the owlbear, and you can see kind of the blackish tendrils sleep off of it and kind of suck into the owlbear for a moment right as it hits, and then let go, pulling off bits and pieces of kind of dark, twisty magic coming out.
Yeesh.
Shadowface stuff is serious.
That's 8 damage.
Alright. The owlbear hoots out in pain, and kind of twists and moves. It's been hurt real badly. It kind of tries to barrel its way out towards the door, making... Yeah, it tries to barrel its way out the door. If you want, you can have Tukra or Kayl use their reaction to make either a attack of opportunity or a grapple check to try and hold it in place.
They both take an attack of opportunity.
Okay, so make an attack roll for each of them.
Alright, for Kayl, come on. That's a 17.
17, alright, that'll hit. So make your damage.
So that's a 1d8. That's 9 damage in total.
9 damage, alright.
Man, this thing's got HP for days.
Oh yeah, it's tough. And Tukra, make your attack.
16 plus 5 is a 21.
Alright, that'll be a hit.
So that's a 1d8 plus 3. That's 8 damage.
Alright. And also, both of you make a strength save as you are getting barreled past.
Okay, strength save. Tukra is at a +1. That's an 18. Well done, Tukra.
That's good.
Kayl's got a +6 on his. And he rolled a 17, so he's at a 23.
Alright, so you both managed to make your saves. You kind of... It tries to shoulder you out of the way, push you down and out of the way. You manage to keep your feet, and in response, together, coordinated swipe down, smashing with your weapons. And the owlbear shudders and falls down to the ground, defeated. Several of its feathers kind of fall out. You can collect these if you'd like.
Yeah.
If not, you can leave them be.
No, I collect resources from the bear that I can.
Okay.
Maybe get a little bit hide, maybe get the claws.
Claws are pretty easy and quick to get. The hide would take a good long time awaiting. You'd have to spend at least a short rest doing it. Which you guys actually made it out of this with almost no...
We didn't take any damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could take a short rest and take care of that.
Okay, so you are able to gather up a couple bundles of the feathers. The ones that fell off you're able to collect. The ones that are on its body are strangely... After its death, they're strangely well attached. Like they're firmly connected to the hide itself. Right. You are able to, with some work, take off the hide. You have a owlbear hide.
Cool.
You have...
I'm guessing that'd fetch a pretty price.
To the right people, yeah.
Yeah.
You've got 2 bundles of the feathers, and you've got... Let's see, it had 20 talons. Make a D10 roll.
2.
Alright. For the front paws, it unfortunately took you a while to figure out how to effectively take the talons off without shattering them. You're only able to collect 2 of the front talons, but you're able to, having figured out the trick, you collect the last 10. So you have 12 owlbear talons.
Excellent.
Alrighty.
So I actually did want to roll low on that one.
Well, you wanted to roll high on that one.
Oh.
That's how many you were able to collect from the first 10.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. So you've got lots of feathers, 1 hide de owl bear, and 12.
Tucker's actually going to take one of the owlbear talons and see if he can get it to fuse to the top of the staff, like he did with his spearhead before.
It sticks on, or at least it seems to, but then it falls off. It's not large enough.
Okay. You're really emphasizing this one necessary material, aren't you?
Well, there are many different things that would work.
Okay.
It seemed this was a good idea. Something that is similar to this seems like it would work well, or would be able to incorporate with the staff very easily. A large, magically natured, natural thing. Animal thing.
Where's the dragon fang when you need one?
I'm not saying a dragon fang would work, but I'm not saying it wouldn't work either.
All right.
I mean, where would you get one is the other question.
Yeah, maybe there's some old skeletons from the ancient calamity.
So that was what was in there. You've dealt with that problem, and you notice. You also can notice now that things have calmed down a little bit, and you also saw the path continues up, the kind of disturbed dust path continued up this way as you were investigating the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to come into this room, go to that little nesty area, now that you have time to examine it more closely, and then go back out.
Okay.
So it seems like whatever made that trail came out here, went back in.
All right.
And that's all you find in that room. Where do you want to go after this?
Let's check out rooms A6 and A7.
Okay. Which you want to go to first?
A7.
A7 first. So, in A7, also as you're going down this, you again see tons and tons and tons of religious icons.
Okay.
This time, they are... You had the pictures up. You had the pictures up here. You had the icon. You had like the carved icons here. In this, you have written up on the wall in a bunch of different languages, different lines from scripture. Some Kanna is able to recognize, some Tukra is able to recognize, some Kayl are able to recognize. They're like famous quotations of the gods speaking in the different relevant scriptures. None of them are credited, like none of them are "Let there be light," God. They're all just the words, just what that God is saying. There's also 2 doorways in this hallway. They are similarly shaped, similarly sized looking rooms that they lead to. Like they look like about the same depth, and they're fairly ornate doors. The doors are almost identical looking. Do you want to examine anything in the hallway, or just go straight into rooms?
Let's go straight into rooms.
Alright. You go first into this room here in the north. In here, you see... It's a very organized, small little room. And you see small kind of statues set up right behind tiny little altars with little cups in them. In the bottom of the cups it's kind of like dark black. You can't really see into it. It looks like it goes down. It's some sort of collection tray in front of each and every little altar, each and every little god.
Okay.
Behind each god there is an icon, one of the painted icons you saw in the first room. And above the icon is a piece of scripture. From what you know, absolutely nothing matches. Like Kanna recognizes a piece of scripture for that people say might be a piece of Ignobilus's scripture, but that's over top of the icon for Bahamut, which is standing behind which is painted up behind the statue of Tiamat. So like everything is mismatched. And up at the north end of the room is a big statue of what Ignobulus is supposed to look like. It's a big man with 4 different arms. One arm holds a sword, one arm holds a torch, one arm holds a book, and one arm holds a cup. And out of the cup is pouring out some kind of liquid. You can't tell what it is, and he has the cowl on.
Okay.
So that's what's in this room. Do you want to check anything about it? Do anything with stuff?
Yeah, I think that they try and match up the icons to the scripture.
Move around the statues.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's the written scriptures, then there's the painted icons, and then there's the statues beneath, and they're all kind of mixed up.
Oh, okay.
So then there's two things on the wall that already don't match.
Then I think maybe they just leave it alone for now until they gather more information.
Okay.
Just move on to room A6.
Come back out and move on to A6. A6 has the same setup with statues, icons, scripture, but from what you can tell, some of them match. Some of them are correct. There are certain statues that match the icons on the wall, and there are certain statues that match the quotation on the wall. You guys don't know too much. None of you are too big on religion, so you don't know, like you don't have the cross-reference in your brain to make sure all of the scripture matches.
Mm-hmm.
But you feel pretty confident amongst the 3 of you could figure out which icons matched correctly if you shuffled them around.
Okay.
Or if you tried to move around the statues and stuff like that. And again, they all have like a little collection plate in front of them.
Got it. Okay. I think they'll take a stab at trying to reorder everything.
Okay. When you try to pick up the statues, you find that they are connected to the collection plates.
Okay.
And while the statue kind of lifts up and tips, the collection plate is firmly attached to the ground.
Okay.
Like you try to lift it up and something pulls on it, and it doesn't come up.
Got it. Alright, so let's just leave that be for now. I think it looks like we've covered everything except for room A2. So I think we'll check out that and then probably head downstairs.
Yeah, we've got A2, and then we've got these 2 hallways. Alright. So you come out of A6 and head down south and around, and down, once you kind of pass this wall and make it into this area, you start to notice, yet again, a collection of religious iconography. Now it is hung up upon the walls are recreations of the iconic weaponry of several different gods. Are you keeping an eye out are you looking for anything in particular, or are you just rushing to A2?
Just keeping an eye out for anything that could attack us.
Anything that could attack you?
Yeah.
Okay. You are keeping your eyes set to look to see if anything looks like it's trapped or falling down. As you are kind of taking the time to look at each weapon before you pass by it, you notice that one of the swords is a replica of the same kind of sword that Ignobulus was holding in his hand. And just like the cowl, it looks bigger than it's supposed to be. Like, it looks bulky and slightly out of scale with the rest of the things there.
I think Kayl will grab that one.
Okay. Kayl picks it up, and he finds out that it's got a kind of hollow slot in the bottom. Like it was placed over top of something. When you pull it off, it's a lightning bolt shaped spear. Something that something that Zeus uses as his kind of signature weapon. And you hold on to that sword of Ignobilis. When you find no other special or strange things in this hallway. When you make it into A2, you find that there are there's set up a bunch of pews in tight, compact rows leading up to another statue of Ignobilis. This one is just holding a large pitcher, and out of the pitcher is flowing water into a basin at the bottom. When you approach the statue from the west side, or the east side, the liquid looks bright and fluorescent and shiny and golden and very cool and strange. When you approach from the opposite side, it is dark, dark red and flows and smells sweet like wine. Do you want to examine or taste or touch the altar at all?
Does the statue have a cowl on it? And does it have a cowl?
You want to take a closer look at the statue?
Yeah.
It has a cowl. Yes, it does have a cowl on it, but the cowl is too small. It doesn't look like it doesn't fit properly on top. Like, it looks like it was pulled down on top of it, forced until it went over. Think like someone took a plastic bag and pulled it over top of the head of a statue that was too big. So it's sort of stretched.
Kayl and Kanna are going to each take out the cowl and the sword and put them in the corresponding locations on the Ignobilis statue.
Okay. The cowl slips, not quite snugly, but quite nicely on top. And the sword slots into the hand. So now we've got the torch and the book are missing from his other hands, and the wine is pouring out. Now, as you turn around or as you approach from different parts of the room, from this furthest side, it's the golden light, brilliantly honey-smelling kind of liquid when you look at it. From the center, it's clear and sparkling. From this far side, it's dark red and sweet-smelling.
All right. They're going to continue along and check out the door behind and go into A9D.
Okay. In here, you see a large selection of the same icons you saw on this wall originally, like the pictures of the gods, but you don't see Ignobilis's anywhere. The icons, however, seem like they are wet. Like they seem like they're freshly painted. Some of them. Other ones seem like they're dry.
Okay. I think, Kanna will try and remove some of the paint from one of the fresh ones.
Okay.
See what's underneath.
When you kind of brush it off, you notice that the wall actually is two different thicknesses. It alternates. They kind of tried to, with some sort of illusion, hide small little alcoves. Inside of the alcoves, you see replicas of the Bibles or the scrolls or whatever are the holy books for many different gods and religions.
Okay. Is there one that matches the book that was in Ignobilis's hand?
There is, in fact, one that matches the book in Ignobilis's hand.
We'll grab that one.
All right. Do you want to go put that back on the statue?
Yes.
Okay. And now it's only missing the torch in its one hand.
We haven't checked A5 yet, so...
You want to go check A5? Okay, so you walk down and around. You come into A5. Let's see if I remember what I wrote for that one. Alright. A5 is the location where you actually fought and killed the
Right, the zealot.
The zealot, who you took his head. his body is also missing, and the blood is quite strangely gone. There's no marks at all of your battle having happened. You do notice some of the stalactites and stalagmites are missing. Like, broken, missing. It doesn't look like the same place, but from what Kanna can tell, this is the same location where she fought him. She sees, like, an arrow on the ground that got snapped where she shot, a mark on one of the stalagmites where his sword had hit.
Right.
But everything else doesn't quite match.
Okay.
Set around those 4 spots, one in the northwest, one in the northeast, and 2 on the south wall, are 4 torches.
All right. Are any of them removable?
They are all removable, and 3 of them are lit. One of them is not lit.
I'll grab the one that's not lit.
Okay.
And take it back and try and put it in the statue.
Alrighty. Alright. So roll a d10 for me, please, and then add 4 to it.
10 in total.
Alright, now roll a d8, and multiply your d8 roll by 10.
4, so 40.
Alright, so 40. So that's there. That's there. Alright. When you put in the book, I'd like you to make a perception roll for me.
Okay. Just on anybody? Or
Yeah, just on anybody.
Alright, I'll do it with Tukra then, because he's got the best perception.
Okay.
He rolled a 24 in total.
Alright, Tukra's ears perk up because he hears the grinding of gears after you put the book in. You can see, he sees the hand that holds the book, the sword, and the torch, or not the book and the torch in. He sees the hands that hold the book, the sword, and the torch all slightly lower, and the head slightly sinks down into the statue. And he hears these gears turning and twisting, and he can hear it start to move down. The turning move moves down along this hallway.
Okay.
He remembers that Kanna said she found something strange about this section.
Mm-hmm.
And when he thinks about the kind of geometry of the building, he thinks that these 2 rooms they seemed like they should be about the same size, but the hallway did not match up to them being the same size.
Alright.
There should be a room between them.
Alright, so when I put the torch in, and it's all complete, are you saying when the torch goes in?
Yeah, when the torch goes in, you hear this kind of
So Tucker's going to move towards that area again.
Okay. So he sees that the door and the wall has slightly slid down, and there's an opening in this area leading to a small room.
Let's check out the room.
Inside that room, you see another statue of Ignobilis. This time it is a much smaller, sedate statue of just a man holding a goblet. He has a book and a torch and a bottle of wine, or a book, a torch, and a sword on the floor at his feet. And he's not wearing a cowl, but the face that is on the cowls is his face.
Alright.
And in front of him is a small chest. Inside of it are 40 gold coins.
Sweet. Grab those puppies.
A dark black cowl that looks exactly like the cowls of Ignobilis you've seen before, but seems special.
Okay, grab that.
In some way.
Alright.
And that is all you find within that place. So you find your 40 coins and your cowl.
Alright.
Do I have that on me? I think I do. There it is. there's what it does. It is the cowl, the true cowl of Ignobilis. Basically, this is a special enchanted cowl with Ignobilis' favor that is usually reserved for kind of true devotees of Ignobilis. And it's a little bit of a conditional magical item. It very clearly marks you as a follower of Ignobilis, because nobody wears this except for people who follow Ignobilis. And it gives you advantage on deception rolls as long as what you're trying to do is obfuscate your actual identity or your actual intentions.
Interesting.
It's like if you're just trying to trick someone into doing something different, like if you're trying to trick your friend into getting wine instead of beer, or doing a prank on someone, it doesn't help you. If you're trying to pretend you're someone else, or pretend that, like if you come in and you're trying to pretend that you are there to make a painting of the Duke or something, it will help you with that lie to get in.
Okay.
If you come in and say, I'm supposed to be here, it won't help you with that lie.
Okay.
So it's going to be a little bit iffy. Yeah, a little nuanced.
Got it. All right. That's pretty fun.
There we go.
All right. Well, they know that they've explored everything now. Tukra's got that Outlander ability that makes it so that he knows his surroundings perfectly.
Yeah, he's finally figured out what was up and weird with that hallway that made him think something wasn't right. So now, where do you want to go?
Time to head down.
All right.
Next level.
So we will head down the stairs. Level 2.
Much more natural looking. But I think it's about time for us to call this an episode.
Yeah, it's gotten a little bit long, but I think we're at a good stopping point.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the tale will have to be told back at the tavern. Wow, that's a lot of tease. During the next episode.
This will be a long one. Kayl will have to pull a two-parter.
Yeah. But thank you all for listening. I hope you all enjoyed it, and thank you to Riley for composing this fun adventure.
Yeah, it's been fun to run so far. If you as a listener have any thoughts or comments you want to share with us, please do. I'm always looking for advice or help or thoughts on where you thought it went or where you thought it went wrong.
All right. Well, thank you all, and we will see you for episode 4, part 2.
Have a good night, y'all. Bye-bye.